Hello, everyone, and welcome to the North American sector of the Americas Summit. My name is Evan, and with me today is Stoic. What's going on, Stoic?
What's happening, Evan? Very excited for today's North American Americas Summit happening soon.
Me too, man. So today, we're going to find the two people who are going to be meeting Medushi and Zezas, our champions from the Latin American section, at the finals later on. And today, we have an awesome show ahead of us. We've got some new faces going up against some of the biggest names in RTA, huh, Stoic?
We do, and we have a lot of new faces, and that's exactly what we brought up during the South American tournament. We have a lot of new faces. Yo-Yo, I think it's Mr. Shah, High Speed Carry Zex, people we may have seen before, whether they're live streamers or not live streamers, but a lot of these faces we've also seen during SWC.
And it's going to be a real trial by fire for these new faces, especially. We got a lot of support for the newbies in chat already. Yo-Yo has had a particularly big amount of support in our chat already. And going up against Faras, who I couldn't help but notice is sitting in Twitch chat. And he's going to have to be the one to do the dirty work if he goes up there and knocks him down. But we'll see. Maybe Yo-Yo can surprise us coming into this. And of course, the latter half of the tournament as well, that second round, because again, we're doing round 1 and round 2 today. Round 2 is filled with crazy players. The likes of True Whale are over there. Rygecki's over there, Stoic. So this is going to be a crazy tournament.
I know, there's a lot of world finalists, champions, you know, all their respective years. We've got runner-up, a lot of guys here with so much experience. I would definitely be nervous if I was one of these new players here, but I also think these players with all of this experience need to be a little nervous themselves because there's a lot of dirt, I guess, players can pick up on by watching previous YouTube VODs of other tournaments and stuff. But these new faces, man, who know what they have in store for us?
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that these folks they have that others don't, is that there is a lot of documentation on these players' play styles between America's Cup proper, RTA replays, everything. They have all the means that they need to do their homework and figure out their matchup. So we've got a lot of cool people like we foreshadowed. We're also going to get to see Spiers again and Apps' debut in a scene that is like a competitive tournament setting. Of course, Apps has had his fair share of RTA battles at the high competitive level, but this is his first time in a tournament, right?
Yep, that is right. I mean, we've seen lots of apps. Apps is one of those everyday Summoners War streamers you can see and tune into at any time. But I mean, this man making it finally on a tournament platform here. I'm really looking forward to see what Apps has, because we've never got to see him prepare for a tournament, or at least I haven't been able to see Apps prepare for a tournament. So I'm sure we're going to see something a little different out of him.
Oh yeah, he's going to have to make a huge impression. This is going to be a statement piece. And folks in chat right now, you just saw a Twitter handle pop up on stream. If you like this sort of thing and you want to stay tuned for everything that's to come, be sure to follow SWC Esports on Twitter so you stay up to date with all the latest competitive Summoners War news. And while you're doing things in chat as well, there's a command new survey for you to fill out. We give a random number of people equal to the max viewership on stream, 75 crystals at the end of this. So fill it out, give us your honest feedback. And if you want to know more about what's happening today too, you can use command Americas Summit, which will take you to the video that was posted on Twitter a little while ago as well. And here we go. We're getting a little bit of a look into our prize pool for today. So just like the Latin America sector, first place is going to be pulling $800 USD, second $450, third is $200. And to find out who's going to be third place the next time we have this tournament, the grand finals of the North American sector, which is on Sunday, we're going to have a third place match at the end, which is always very fun because that's kind of where the heat is, to be honest, because first and second are guaranteed to move forward.
Yep, that's right. I mean, I'm very excited to see who's going to be our first and second. You know, always excited to see who's going to be finishing third, but like you said, number 1 and number 2 are going to be going towards the final. I mean, we've got a lot of people that could be seeing themselves in that number 1 spot, with especially the likes of course, Rygecki, who is last year's America's Cup champion.
And he is also one of the matches that I am most looking forward to watching, Stoic. Like, I actually just saw Rygecki recently at the Vancouver meetup. He popped by. It was really cool to see him there, and he always brings some fun stuff in his draft. And we saw the likes of True Whale there on that lineup too, who has multiple legend titles under his belt as well.
Yep, that is correct. I mean, True Whale is someone a lot of these players are going to be afraid of. I would especially think the players who are not very familiar with these the tournaments, they're definitely not looking forward to having to play with them, play up against True Whale here. But You know, who knows? Like we said, this is America Summit, and we are going to be seeing new faces, new players, and maybe some new tricks. So we'll have to keep tuning in to see what happens here.
That's right. Oh, and I'm getting a report from the chat that if Spiers wins, he's going to buy us all pizza. Let's hope that's true, Stoic. I hope that I'm included in chat by proxy.
The pizza party supplied by Spiers.
Pizza party after the American Summit. Once we climb to the top of the summit. And now the player who's getting a lot of attention in the chat as they're discussing right now is Thompson. Thompson actually won an SWC America's Cup back in the day. I think that was the 2019 Cup that he had. Made it all the way to the finals.
Yep, that's right. I mean, Thompson stands as the only American player to make it to a world final and actually be in the very final match. Not able to take home a world title just yet, and I'm sure Thompson is definitely looking forward to making that journey once again. But of course, we have our very first match here with Yo-Yo and Faras.
Here we go, the big one. We already see threats coming out in the chat. Faras says that that dog is not going to be eating tonight. Let's see if he can live up to his words right now. This is going to be a game changer for the rest of the tournament. Let's see if Yo-Yo can make an impression on us. And let's see if Faras' supporters show up in the chat to give him praise. Let me hear, chat, who you got, who are you voting for? We're going to have to figure out on the fly who we think is going to win this one. I haven't had the pleasure of watching Yo-Yo in action.
Ooh, well, Yo-Yo, clearly being a G3 player, has put his time into the ladder matches. Faras, I'm wondering what happened, dude. You're missing a star, but that's okay. Yo-Yo's got the first pick, but of course, free bands are going to be coming out first.
This is going to be huge, everyone. We're going into round one of the America Summit, North American sector. This is going to be a statement match, and we are using the SWC pre-ban mode, or as we like to call it, the Face Your Fears mode. You can only pre-ban one monster in a row. You got to face it the next round. It's going to be available in the pick pool again. We're doing best of 3 the whole day today.
That is correct. Pre-ban's getting locked in right now. It looks like Sekhmet and the Chung Pong is going to get pre-banned here. Very interesting ban on the Sekhmet. It looks like Yo-Yo does not want to get outsped by Faras here.
Yeah, interesting choices. I like the ban on the Chung Pong from Faras. I can tell that he really has the same fears that I do. I can't stand seeing Chung Pong. Wow, picks so quick. Locks in the Oliver as well as the Carnal.
Yeah, both players knew exactly what they wanted to do here. You can definitely tell by both these pre-bans getting locked in, that Sekhmet and that Chung Pong, and then Yo-Yo going with the 24 speed lead. Water Ryu getting locked in. Faras with the Oliver, and of course, Fire and Bison Carnal getting locked in for Faras.
World Arena Podcast gang is rolling into chat right now. Everybody, let me hear you say it. Tian Lang, and one of my favorite monsters that I do not have, Cigar.
Yeah, the Tian Lang's going to be very, very good here, especially when you've got a Vertiheal on the other side of the field as well. Going to be taking up that attack bar that Vertiheal's trying to provide his team. Of course, we're going to be seeing this John as well. John's a very interesting unit, being able to place bombs, especially one target to get one bomb turn coming out of John. I'm curious what Yo-Yo's thinking to bring. Potentially going to be a Shizuka coming out here, I want to say.
Oh, Shizuka would be really cool, Stoic. That would be awesome. No such luck, though. Ends up bringing a Jogun and a Ciara. I can't help but notice that Faras hasn't brought anything to address the bombs other than just straight out speeding and control. That might be what he's planning to do. I don't know if he wants to ban the John. There might be something a little more valuable over there that he could put away.
Yeah, very interesting. The Jogun and the Ciara getting locked in. Second speed lead for Yo-Yo as well, just to make sure Faras is not, bans out one of his speed lead that he still has one. Here, Faras is one last unit to lock in here. He's definitely taking his time because he's running out of it. And it looks like it might go into an auto pick, potentially auto pick. But again, yeah, I almost want to say that is an auto pick to get that win robo locked in here. But
I think it might have been because there's no second speed lead, like you pointed out. That was a really good observation. I think that was a good ban. I think that was a favorable ban for Faras, especially since the Verd is staying in because it's less opportunity to proc the Verd. Here we go, going into round one.
Here we go, guys. Getting into it, let's kick things off here with Vertiheal. A Swift Vertiheal is going to be taking turn one. Of course, the unit is going to be that Oliver. I think Yo-Yo's going to give a lot of attention to that Oliver to not see any turns here. Bombs are going to be coming out, and we've got that one-turn bomb being chosen on the Fire and Bison. The skill 2 going, of course, towards that Oliver once again.
Here comes the detonation. The game plan's coming together. Everybody's stunned up and on death's door. Huge plays from Yo-Yo right off the bat.
Massive damage from that CR as well. That's definitely an attack-built CR. We're going to see it take a lot of damage there. As you can see, the additional damage coming out of that Tian Lang does apply a lot of damage to that CR, and I think that's something Faras is going to have to keep in mind here. But Faras is definitely going to be losing this very first round here to Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo with a commanding lead.
That was seriously the statement piece that he needed. He declared that he deserves to be here, and he is a force to be reckoned with. Putting those bombs out and calculated that strategy. This actually brings me back a couple seasons ago when Swift Bird was like first kind of like really making his way onto the scene. And now you're really seeing that like a Swift Bird can still counter Tian Lang. He pushed the more ahead of the Tian Lang, even though he gave the Tian Lang attack bar.
Yeah, most definitely. Swift Bird's still very, very viable in a case like this, even up against the Tian Lang. So maybe Tian Lang, not the best decision, but I wouldn't say it was the worst decision either. The pre-bans from last time, Sekhmet and Chung Peng, now available as we get into round number 2 with Yo-Yo and Faras.
We got people in chat saying they looked away for 2 seconds. That's probably the worst decision you can make right now. Apparently, if Yo-Yo's playing, don't blink. Blinks are banned. You got to keep your eyes glued to the screen, otherwise you might miss something.
Well, I'm expecting Faras to ban one of these units that he had seen on the field. It looks like the Joe Gun's going to be a unit he doesn't want to have to deal with. Of course, Yo-Yo is going to be banning out the Tian Lang. The Tian Lang did bring a little bit of value to Faras' team, but I don't necessarily think the Tian Lang is that important to Faras. It's a very, very good unit, don't get me wrong, but I don't believe it's going to be that important as we get into this round number 2. He's going to be taking that Water Ryu away from Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is going to be taking that Oliver away from Faras.
Quick answers here for looking at the Moore instead. I think the Moore was a valuable take, but we're gonna have to see if it was worth losing the Oliver to it, because that's a pretty huge speed lead, and that was probably Firas's one hope at contesting turn 1. Yo-Yo had a little bit of hesitation on that Masha, but ultimately decided to lock it in.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Masha is still a very fair pick here. I do like the Masha. I think the Sekhmet is nice. We know it's going to be something to outspeed. There's that Wind Robo coming out one more time. Wind Robo and, of course, Water Ryu making a great combination together. Yo-Yo is going to be taking a Wind Occult Girl. Charlotte's coming out here with one other pick.
I love seeing the Charlotte. She's actually had a pretty high win rate for a long time. Oh, and there's the Juno. The Juno feels a little bit early to me, but we'll have to see. Usually she proves not to be the worst pick of all time, but I love the Charlotte Star.
Yeah, Juno's definitely not bad here. I don't mind the Juno too much. It looks like Faras going with that Fire and Bison once again. He does love that Fire and Bison. He uses that in most of his drafts, so I think that might be what justifies the Juno here, because he almost knew that it was going to be coming out. And we've got a Tomo wrapping up Faras' draft with another 24 speed lead. And of course, Yo-Yo bringing an additional speed lead himself in the form of Chiwu.
Tomoe almost making it so you'd have to ban the Juno, or now she's a little bit of a force to be reckoned with. Oh, she might actually prove to be a thorn in his side later, unless he can nail all these attack bar reductions. It's the main reason why Juno sometimes scares me. It's like the attack bar.
Let's see what happens. Juno might be the unit alone to devastate Faras, so let's find out as we get into this round number 2 with Faras and Yo-Yo. Of course, he's going to go with the third skill just to apply just some additional damage to boost up his team here, because he's definitely not trying to strip anything, because there's nothing to be stripped with Charlotte.
And now Oliver does not have a whole lot of options here, considering that Moore just used all of his skills. Does get the attack bar reduction and the increased cooldown time, though. Let's see, does he just keep working on that Water Ryu while the passive is down? Go for broke. See if you can crit. Why not? Have some fun.
I think that's exactly what you do, is you keep pounding away at that Water Ryu, and that's exactly what he's doing here, because this is going to be a lot of additional damage. Keep in mind with the Despair Sun sitting on top of that Fire and Bison as well. Second skill coming out, getting the full team strip here. Doesn't have anything applied. He has to go with the skill 2 into a skill 3, but that is going to be a lot of value coming towards that Juno. Again, there's just not too much you can do about this Juno. Juno's going to be pretty devastating right now. Stuns are rolling out. Oliver's down. Charlotte's down.
Missed on the Juno, which is actually favorable, so she doesn't get the heal. This is actually match point for Yo-Yo. I want to re-emphasize, if Faras doesn't get a point on the board right now, then it is all over for him.
And he really needs to do that. Nice violent Water Ryu, by the way. A little bit of damage coming towards the Masha. Masha is going to be staying alive, though. Not yet going to be dropped here. Beautiful Despair Stun coming onto that Water Ryu, though. Psycho Crusher gets the dismount. Stuns are going to be sitting on the field, looking for some attack bar reduction. Looking to strip that speed buff off the Juno as well. Not looking so bad for Faras, but it's definitely not over. All because of this one unit Juno.
Yes, he needs to keep landing the decreased attack bar effects, though, and that was the reason why Juno kind of scared me. because it seemed like a lot of units that could reduce her attack bar and make sure she stays down.
Yep, there's that damage coming out. No stun's going to be landing, of course, on that Juno. A little bit of attack production still here. Fire and Bison's definitely going to be a thorn in Yo-Yo's side. That's going to help deal with this Juno here. There's that second scale. Finish it up. Faras taking round 2 away from Yo-Yo.
So well played from Faras. I was afraid that he was picking a little bit into the Juno with the Tomoe, but he knew exactly what he was doing. I love that he even had the surprise more on Violent, who's gotten a little bit of a rise in popularity with the advent of the new Josephine.
Definitely. You know, I feel like I'm in a position where Tian Lang's on the field, but I don't think Faras should lean into the Tian Lang. Even though the Vertiheal was on the field, Vertiheal still got way too much value for Yo-Yo's team. So I almost want to see him not turn into that same unit. Pre-bans are the exact same from that first match, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree with what you said. It's, yeah, slight difference. The Sekhmet was still there. But that Swift Verd still gives too much value in the face of a Tian Lang because it still boosts your team over the threshold that Tian Lang's at. So the turn order doesn't change as much as you'd expect it to.
That is correct. So Faras went and banned one of the speed leads that Yo-Yo was going to be drafting here. But Yo-Yo is still going to be taking an Oliver, and then he still has that CR to go back to that original first turn draft, which I don't believe Yo-Yo is going to go with that first turn draft that he had. He should be changing it up because in these tournaments, you know, it's something that you have to keep in mind. You can't stay regular or else people are going to know what you're up to. If they know what you're doing here, that's definitely going to help your opponent understand your draft a lot better here. So let's see what happens. Faras is going to be locking in the Fire and Bison and Ethna, the very, very fast and apparently needed a buff Ethna. This unit is insane.
Did he say needed a buff? Did he say that? Because that sounds like something Faras would say. I don't know. That's pretty good.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Ethna has just received so much, and she's in such a crazy, crazy place right now. But Chungpung and the Vertiheal are coming back to the field under Yo-Yo. Well, not Chungpung, but the Vertiheal's coming back to the field for Yo-Yo. Tian Lang might be another unit that Faras is going to be leaning on. I still don't know how I feel about it, but
I'm with you.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. Like, I am a little worried with the Tian Lang. Vertiheal's still getting so much value here, but at the same time, the Tian Lang's going to get a lot of value here as well. I'm just not the biggest fan. This Tian Lang's taking the value away from the Fire and Bison, from the Ethna, from the Wind Robo as well. Like, I just don't know if I'm in this boat.
I'm just afraid that he's going to challenge it still now that he knows that it isn't triple revenge. I trust in Faras's judgment here, but now that we know this is a Swift Bird and he doesn't have to worry about busting out the skill 2 from the Robo, from the Tian Lang and getting procced on, I think he might be tempted to leave it in the draft and perhaps even ban the Chungpung, who was his first round ban. But we'll see what's drafted here. Chiwoo John, oh, not again, Stoic.
Yep, well, Chiwoo's getting locked in. He needs the additional speed lead for his team. John's going to be coming back, and I think Faras knows what to do with this John. I mean, he dealt with it once. He lost to it once, and I think he's got to take this 5th pick, and the 5th pick's got to be kind of a game changer here, because I will say, as awkward as Tian Lang is with Faras's team, it's kind of not at the same time, because there's going to be a lot of value he can take away from the Vertiheal, and a ton of value he can take away from this Oliver as well.
Tomoe. Okay, so let's see what she plans on doing here. Maybe he bans out the bombs since he doesn't have immunity. Perhaps he bans out the Chung or the Chiwoo so he doesn't get opened up. But I'm still concerned for the reasons that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I think Faras goes with the ban on top of the John. He wants to remove those bombs that damage the volatility. Does not. Ends up banning out the Chiwoo with the attack bar reduction with that 3rd skill. Very interesting. But 33 speed lead still coming out for Yo-Yo with an HP lead. Coming out for Faras, guys. We have round number 3, guys, between Faras and Yo-Yo.
And match point for both players. Whoever wins here moves forward in the bracket and eventually fights True Whale, which is going to be crazy. Etna with the turn 1, getting the stun on the Chungpung and denying the strip. This is the best case scenario.
Yeah, it really is. That was a great placement for Ethna to tag it out the Chungpung and getting that stun as well. Bomb does land. 1-turn bomb does land on top of the Tian Lang. I do believe that Tian Lang is among the thickest of boys. It should handle that bomb pretty well. 3rd skill is going to come out. Does get a lot of value with that 3rd skill.
Huge stuns. Is that enough to give him the tempo he needs to carry this home?
We'll see. Doesn't get stunned up himself from the bomb, but the additional turn's going to come out for the John. John looking to reduce any attack bar possible. Faras definitely looking good with Yo-Yo on the back foot here.
There's a lot of reduction between Oliver and John, but it's just not enough. Faras is looking like he wants to take this first round.
Yeah, Faras with the fantastic clapback in this match here. Tian Lang staying alive, getting his victory. Round 3 goes to Faras, and Faras will be moving forward in today's summit.
Wow, a great showing from both players. Leave it to Faras to be the one to figure out how to adapt to any situation once it comes to a strange one. Like he kind of faltered in the beginning towards that synergy, that strategy that Yo-Yo brought in round 1, but he so quickly was able to counter it in round 2. And round 3, he was faced up against half of it, and he still moved forward, Stoic.
And I think that adjustment went where the pre-bans were. He was actually pre-banned out that Water Ryu, but at the same time, his opponent Yo-Yo went and he took that Oliver away from Faras in that 3rd round there, but it didn't matter too much. But I think what happened here, even though the Oliver was taken, so that he had a 33 speed lead under his belt here, Faras was very confident in his Ethna, still taking first turn there, and I think that's what was really, really big here. Was Ethna
you
landing
called that
stun,
Ethna.
controlling it, and
you said how powerful it was, Stoic. I don't think I fully grasped the gravity of that Ethna. Like, she really was. She was the thing that gave him everything he needed to carry it home. If she didn't stun the Chung Pung, there's a very likely scenario where Chung Pung would have gotten a turn, strip, everybody's open, John places bombs.
Yep, exactly. But I think it starts with the pre-ban. Faras adjusted, and this might be where that tournament experience comes into hand here. But the beautiful pre-ban into the draft after that, not having to worry about that Oliver, and of course the Tian Lang would have been a unit to help devastate that Oliver from trying to get all these turns and steal all that attack bar, because we've got Tian Lang taking that attack bar right back into us.
Yeah, and he had a pretty strong control comp for us in those last 2 rounds. I gotta give a lot of credit to Yo-Yo, because I don't remember the last time that I saw a bomb comp go off quite that smoothly in a competitive setting like this, in a tournament setting for Summoners War. Like, that was so fun to see, and he definitely gave us a treat with that one.
Yeah, most definitely. So big congrats on Yo-Yo for honestly putting his stamp in the tournament scene with that first match, because I think he put Faras on alert after that first match, because no one wants to get 2-0'd for sure. So it was definitely a well done, played out match there by Yo-Yo. Big congrats, and way to make
his ears definitely perked up after that, and he was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Well, everybody, if you enjoyed that matchup, you're definitely gonna love this one. The next game that we got coming up is Mr. Shaw, or Marsha, as I'm taken to calling him, versus Spiers. Now, Spiers was at the America's Cup, but unfortunately his run got cut a little bit short, and I was really eager to watch more of his games, so I'm eternally grateful that he made it to this summit.
Yeah, Spiers did incredibly well last year in the prelims in getting his spot in America's Cup. Spiers is definitely a unit that I think a lot of people need to be afraid of. Spiers has a lot of very special LD Nat 5s that he can bring to the table here. Now, I wish I had more to say about Mr. Shaw, but I just don't. Welcome to the America's Summit, where we just don't know half the players here, and we might get surprised, just like we were surprised with that first match with Yo-Yo.
That's the fun, Stoic. We get to discover these things live with the chat, with the folks in the chat.
Yep. Well, Spiers is going to have first pick here. Pre-ban's going to get locked in right now. I couldn't tell you what any of these pre-bans are, but I would assume one of Spiers' LD Nat 5s are going to get pre-banned out.
Let's see what they opt for. I love Marsha's little profile picture. It's very cute. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of cute.
It reminds me of one of the characters from Dragon Ball Z. I can't remember. Whatever. In Korn's Tower, there's a little cat character with a staff.
Yes, but I don't remember. I don't remember the name either. Whoa, Tian Lang Ragdoll, heavens to Betsy. Whoa, coming in hot.
Yep, both players definitely know each other when you're going to see pre-bans like that, with the Tian Lang and the Ragdoll getting pre-banned out here. Spiers with the first pick. I am very curious to see how Spiers is playing right now.
Locks in the Oliver. Oliver's just such an essential unit even today. Him and Moore, both for their speed lead. I mean, they have amazing kits regardless, but we kind of had this discussion the other day, Stoic, is like, no matter what you do to them, like, they're going to have some value because of that 33 and 24 respectively.
Yeah, most definitely. What a change of pace from North American to South American draft styles here. I mean, we're seeing an Oliver first pick from Spiers, and we've got more in Ethna getting first pick by Mr. Shah here. Very interesting.
Oh yeah, the Etna lead. I don't know if that's some inspiration from what we just saw in Faras's last game or what, but Etna's really kind of cemented her place in the meta currently. Like, I think people are pleasantly surprised what she's capable of.
Oh yeah, very, very fast unit here in the form of Ethna. Gianna and Shizuka being drafted by Spiers. Mr. Shah going to be taking a Juno. Could be one other pick here. Looks like Mr. Shah might change the draft, and we might see him opt to go turn 2 here potentially with this Juno being drafted right now.
Juno and Wind.
Okay, cool.
Robo. Nice drafts from that
both
side.
Players.
Like, these are pretty strong. Like, both of these drafts are great. I really like the Masha here. There's so much wind being presented on Mr. Shah's side. Oh, Antares is a great pick here, actually. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, let's see if he locks it in. He doesn't. Spiers being very unsure what he wants to lock in here.
Spiers is playing with me, though. Ultimately, I think that the Antares is actually safer here than the Douglas. If you don't plan on banning the Water Ryu that more, then I think that you're in a better spot to just bring Antares.
I think the Antares is going to be a good draft here. We all know that the Wind Robo is not going to be a very tanky unit, but neither is that Ethna. That Ethna is going to be built very, very quickly. A lot of value is going into the speed, and obviously not so much into how tanky this unit is here. But we are going to see a Narsha coming out for Mr. Shah.
I wonder if it is Marsha then. It's a combo of Masha and Narsha. I wonder if it is Marsha. Maybe I looked into his mind and pulled it right.
It might be. We'll see. So ban's going to be getting locked in right here. I want to say Spire's going to ban out the threat. Never mind. He's going to be banning out the water unit to help keep his fire units alive here. But the only fire unit that is going to be here is the Antares. Masha's getting banned. 33 speed lead coming out for Mr. Shah, and a speed lead coming out for Spiers.
Oh, Spiers is going to have turn 1 more than likely with but nothing to strip. That's okay. Maybe he just throws the bomb up on the Narsha, aims for the Wind Robo instead, doesn't get anything started.
I'm very curious if Mr. Shah prepared for Spiers, knowing that the Gianna was going to be coming to the table here. Does resist the bomb, which is massive, but of course, nullifying everything that Gianna's known for, which is that third skill. There is no will, there are no buffs that are going to be coming to this table here.
A cut from Antares after this turn would be so clutch to try to despair stun the Narsha. There it is. Let's go. Sinkhole comes out, gets 2 despair stuns.
Yeah, keeping back that Ethna is definitely going to be very important. You don't want that unit popping off with the second skill, but that Narsha is still going to be a very dangerous unit. Going to be bringing back the Gianna. Gianna does have second skill available. Definitely has to place that bomb probably on top of the Narsha, or potentially one of these stunned up units. Let's see what Spider is going to be doing. Bomb does come out on top of the Wind Robo with the third skill going towards the Narsha. Narsha does resist the attack bar reduction of that third skill, though he does have second skill. I think he has to put that into the Narsha as well. Does get a little bit of attack bar reduction. Needs a dismount from Antares. Does get that dismount.
Wow, Spiers totally read the situation properly, knew that he could take down the Narsha. Oh, but she's got something to say before she hits the grave. She's going to do some serious damage to that Antares.
Yeah, definitely a lot of damage coming towards Antares here. But Spiers might be looking okay. This Shizuka is known to do a lot of crazy things. He does have a lot of value from that third skill. Looking not to put that third skill down just yet. Bomb goes out, stuns up, and does get the kill here with that Narsha.
Yeah, so the thing about that, I know that he was trying to dodge the heal, but I'm a little afraid that he might have just traded his Antares for that. Although Juno probably had enough damage to finish it off. It's probably the same.
I think Juno would have had enough here. There's that second skill going towards the Ethna. He's trying to stop that Ethna from getting turns here. More additional damage. And of course, the attack bar gain sitting on top of that Juno from hitting that Oliver. We're going to see that second skill with Antares. Antares looking to get any value he can with the second skill here. Doesn't get any despair stuns. And we do have that Narsha still up. He's got to drop the Narsha, get as much attack bar back as possible. He needs this second skill to potentially kill the Ethna. Does not kill the Ethna. We could possibly have Juno finishing off both teams, but he has to drop the Oliver. Oliver has way too much attack bar reduction, and that might be all Spire needs to take down this Juno.
Yes, we could be looking at an upset here from the Juno against the going for the 1v2 after Ethna departs, but she is just not leaving.
No, not yet. Ethna holds on here with the first skill. It's probably going to be enough to finish it off here. Needs despair stuns just like that to keep Spiers down. And we'll see what happens. He gets another despair stun.
This is
once again. He can't even place that second skill on himself here. He's got to bring something up that's going to reduce the attack bar or potentially just destroy this Juno. I think he's got to bring back the Antares and hope that first skill is going to be enough to kill. Is it going to be enough to kill? It is not. It should be Mr. Shah taking down Spiers in the very first match.
What a round. What a round. An upset for Spiers. Stoic, looking back, I still think he should have thrown out the third skill, even though Juno was going to heal up the team, because I think the 2-turn window of stuns between the stun and the bomb might have given him enough opportunity to get ahead. And that might have been the last opportunity to throw out that third skill too.
Yeah, potentially that might have been what needed to be done there, because if that third skill did go off, I think Ethna would have been gone sooner, as well as that Narsha potentially the Narsha would have been gone sooner, because that Ethna held on way longer than Spiers wanted to see.
Yeah, and I know the ban on Water Ryu, but it's 3 stun. People are talking about the stuns on water units. It's despair. It's despair. It doesn't matter what the element is. But that's why you put her on despair. She'll stun. It doesn't matter which element. Juno was a perfect counter for that situation. Actually, I think that was the hinge point of the whole team.
Yep, 100% there. So Waterree is going to be the first pick from Mr. Shaw here, and here is Spiers. Spiers definitely needs to take his time, think about the match here. Tian Lang looking like being his first pick, which I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Tian Lang, but sometimes it just doesn't matter. Tian Lang brings just so much value to the field.
Yeah, he does. It's a little bit of an early pick, but there's already something to feed him with the second skill from Water Ryu, so I think he might end up getting some value. We know that Marsha was eager enough to pre-ban the Tian Lang in the first one. There's that Masha, the other half of the Masha-Narsha combo.
Yep, Masha's going to be coming out here, taking that Miles as well. Miles uses a unit to help take down a Masha. Oh, dear Lord, we're going to see Spiers going to be changing his pace here with a Molly and Water Cookie.
Yeah, first water cookie day, or first water cookie of the day, rather. And he does lock it in. There was a lot of hesitation there, and I'm unsure as to why. It might be because the Miles was picked preemptively. So he's thinking, do I really want to pick a defense-based unit into a unit that does ignore defense damage?
Yeah, we'll see. Marsha looking to, Mr. Shaw looking to draft 2 other, it might be Marsha, it might be, but I don't know. I'm going to keep saying Mr. Shaw. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got Wind Robo and Savannah getting locked in here, not the Narsha coming out for Mr. Shaw. And of course, we're going to see a Leo to help with all these speed-based damage dealers, but you know what? Leo can't help but get that ban immediately.
That was a great pick from Spiers. That was going to super hinder the damage output, considering he brought Masha, Miles, and Savannah to the table. Like that was a great pick and a force ban even.
Yep, 100%. And expecting Mr. Shaw to be getting first turn here and potentially, taking advantage of Spiers. But we'll see. I mean, this Water Cookie just tends to do some crazy things here. Look at this insane damage going out onto Miss Chung Pong.
That was a crazy amount of damage coming out from the Miles. He really doesn't care what element you are. He'll just deal the damage. It doesn't matter. Chung Pong already off the table. Marsha's got Spiers playing at a 3 to 4 monster deficit here.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming towards that Chung Pong, and he is gone very quickly. No parry is going to be coming out to stop that kind of damage, but we already seen 1 parry right now, and that's what stunned up that Wind Robo. And of course, this Miles is the unit that Spiers really wants to get rid of here, because that is one of the strips there to help stop his Water Cookie from doing some crazy things.
Huge stun. This makes it so that now the window of opportunity is open, though it doesn't look like the Hollyberry has actually gotten any natural counters so far. Huge proc from Tian Lang to confirm the kill on the Miles.
Yeah, only 1 counter happened very early into the game, and that's the only counter that did pop up here. It's a lot of damage coming towards the Tian Lang, but Molly should be here to help fix up this Tian Lang. He's got the cleanse available, and of course the shield's going to be coming up here. Stun is available as well. Let's see if a parry potentially cuts in here. I don't know if it can cut in during this animation. It can cut in during the animation.
You called it. There it is. That's the parry you don't want to see at this point in the game. That's...
Yeah, not at all. Stunning up that Wind Robo once again. We're going to see attack break potentially going out onto the Tian Lang to stop the additional damage. No! Goes for the Despair stun on top of the Water Hollyberry.
Keeping it stunned is the best option. He knows that cooldown... Oh, the cooldown's coming back on Molly. Oh, dear. Next time she gets a turn, she's going to be able to cleanse whatever
with
he's got
another
on.
Additional turn coming out in the form of this Water Hollyberry. Water Hollyberry with, of course, the defense break. More damage on that first skill coming out. Defense break and a lot of damage coming out in the Tian Lang. Tian Lang could be dropped here. Does get dropped. The parry's not here in time. Does not stun up that Water Ryu. A little bit of poke damage coming out here.
He's doing what he can to get some work in on that water hollyberry cookie. That's going to be the thorn in his side. Oh, and that huge heal from Molly. This is starting to look a little bit more impossible for Marcia.
It is, but these parries, man, that's a big stun sitting on top of this water Ryu. Nice initial turn popping up. He has to put it into that water hollyberry. Anything he can has to go into that water hollyberry. Additional damage coming out with the parry into the kill on top of that Wind Robo. Wind Robo does get dropped. Shields popping up on top of the water hollyberry. Hollyberry's going to use that second skill, of course, getting that defense buff up. Does not get the dismount just yet. More damage coming into the Molly. I am not too sure Mr. Shuck can lock in this one.
No, this is looking to be pretty tough for Marcia here. Masha actually crit on the wrong hit, missing the defense break at the one chance that they were going to get it. Can you get the crit? It's almost impossible going to go for it, trying to kill the Molly. Let's go. Skill 2 coming out from the Ryu.
Skill. Oh, with the parry comes through once again. Was that a double parry?
It was a double parry to lock out the game there, Stoic.
Dear Lord,
that was a double
this
parry.
Cookie.
And that's the thing, too. If he was going to have any chance at soloing there, and granted, it was a pretty slim chance, he just needed it to not parry on the Water Ryu's second skill.
I think I tuned in to a World Arena podcast with Spiers, and I think Spiers said that he's definitely trying to use this cookie. This cookie's just too good to not use, especially in today's meta right now where there's just so much turn 2 play going on. We don't see a pre-ban on it, though, so the pre-ban with Tian Lang and Ragdoll getting locked in here. Spiers looking to go for turn 1. Potentially have a repeat of that very first round, but let's see if there's any changes to it with the Oliver first pick coming out of him.
Man, that cookie is a terror to the meta right now. I can't believe that it didn't show up in the pre-ban phase here, actually, unless somebody's got a plan to steal it or deal with it.
Yeah, let's see. Well, there's a chance that Mr. Shum doesn't have one of those water hollyberry cookies. There is a chance. We'll see, though. With the water Ryu Shizuka getting picked by Mr. Shah. Juno's coming out for Spiers with one other pick here. Oh, no, we're going to see that Molly coming out for Spiers. This is so interesting.
He's looking to bring back a similar strategy to what he had in the previous round. I think it's a great call right here because he was able to outlast whatever Mr. Shah was bringing.
Yeah, so what's happening right now is Spiers, what I believe is happening right now, Spiers is taking that 33 speed lead, which is putting Mr. Shah under the assumption that he's going to be trying to compete with turn 1, and then Mr. Shah kind of goes into it with the Masha, reels it back just a little bit with this Praha.
Spiers trying to say psych right now? Let's see. I kind of like those picks, actually, getting the turn 1. He's picking into that bruiser style with the water hollyberry, which is fine. He was able to make it work last time. Stealing the miles is actually a really cool call if you end up going with this, because now you ditch the ignore defense damage.
I think the Miles is a brilliant pick here for Spies. It's a great take. It's going to be a massive tool being used against Mr. Shah's draft here. It's fantastic up against all four of these units that we're seeing on the other side of the field for Spiers.
Yeah, and the Mosh is looking like she's going to have a hard time because the Molly's going to be denying any hits that she could have on the Juno. She's never going to get a clean opportunity. Doman, I've come to bargain.
Doman, I've come to bargain is here and gets that ban immediately. What a dangerous unit here. Oliver's going to get the ban as well. Speed lead for Mr. Shah. Defense lead. Holy cow.
Defense lead, Stoic. Oh my god, the cookie, dude. The cookie's going to hit so hard, man. Here we go. Both players at match point. Whoever wins this one is going to move forward in the bracket. Already a parry from the Water Holiday.
Yep, already a parry coming out. Nice little spare stun sitting on top of that Water Hollyberry, though. Let's see what happens. I think he has to capitalize on that defense break on top of the Juno with the first skill here with Praha. It's like a little bit of attack bar himself. A lot of damage coming towards that Juno. I do think he has to drop this Juno fast, though.
Oh, and it got to stun the Molly. Otherwise, the Molly's going to unstun the Water Hollyberry. This is like the one chance to actually do some damage on it. Decides to not, and it looks like a safer play, but I gotta say, I think the secret safe play would be to stun the Molly, so you can try to capitalize some damage on the Water Hollyberry.
Yeah, I do like that cleanse there going out onto the Juno, potentially thinking that, he'd rather keep the unit alive than have to cleanse his Water Hollyberry to hope for a parry there, too. He's
got some good priorities. Spiers tends to play really clean.
Yep, most definitely. You can see he's opting to use that first skill instead of trying to strip that one thing of immunity. He wants to save that because the Shizuka does have the ability to get a bunch of buffs up for his team as well. Daydream's going to be coming out there looking to put his opponent to sleep, getting some healing on his own side of the field. Definitely a lot of value right there. Great opportunity for Juno to have that second skill available now.
Manages to sleep the only units that matter on the team as well. The only 2 units you really want. Oh, Juno is going to be going down with a quick proc from Masha. Heavens
Yeah,
to Betsy.
too good. He finally got rid of that Juno. Juno definitely needed to go here. Mr. Shaw definitely looking a lot better there, taking that unit down here. But once again, like, this Water Cookie, even though it's sleeping, even though it's getting stunned up here, it's still such a dangerous unit.
It is. Oh, I would have waited maybe one more turn, but then again, there's a reason why I'm not up there. Oh, gets the restun with more anyway. Doesn't matter.
Getting the triple stun, Evan. Those were sleeping units, and it went from sleeping to stunned up. Water Ryu. He stuns him up once again. Water Ryu putting so much value onto this field right now. The additional turns that are coming up for the Pra. Finishing off that mile, not finishing off that Miles. We get a violent proc coming up from this Water Cookie. Water Cookie looking to keep Spiers' team alive right now. We can see a little bit of damage coming out. Let's see how much damage now that we have the defense lead with defense buff as well.
Mr. Shaw is trying everything he can to deny Spiers more tournament play. Spiers has got to put something up right now. He needs to win this game or the tournament run for the America Summit is over for him. Can the Water Hollyberry and the Molly do it for him? If there are 2 units that can, Stoic, it would be these 2.
I know, that's so crazy. It is these 2 units that can do this, but I will say the Praha is definitely going to be a problem with that third skill. The Shizuka is going to be a problem with all the value you can get out of all things matter with that third skill. That third skill is absolutely insane for the Shizuka. And you know what? Water Ryu is it's a problem, man. That's a lot of despair stuns coming out of the Water Ryu. I don't think Spiers can come back from this. The additional damage, ignoring the defense with the additional damage. Praha just laying down the absolute law here, doing all the damage that Mr. Shaw even needs for this Water Cookie.
Just as much as Mr. Shaw is getting despair proc, Spiers is trying to get additional turns, cleansing up the Water Hollyberry. He still has a strip available, but it might be more value to just bust out the third skill and put it to sleep.
I end up just going with the first skill because I think Mr. Shaw has plenty of time to wait it out right now. There's no buffs going to be coming up for Spiers unless he's able to get the additional turn here. Does not get the additional turn, of course. We're going to see that third skill coming out here. A lot of value is going to be hitting his team here. A lot of buffs, a lot of debuffs on the other side of the field with that defense break as well. You can see that first skill popping off right here. Finishes off that cookie. Mr. Shaw taking down Spiers in round 3 and moving forward in today's tournament.
And that is game. Mr. Shaw, an incredible match. It's so well played. Clinical plays too. One thing that I really like about watching him, Stoic, is that he's a very careful, very patient player. There's a couple times where I saw that situation. I was like, I would do this right now. But he was like, I don't have to do this right now. I can play it a little safer. I know what's coming up. That was a very cool game to watch.
I definitely appreciate the draft of Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw brought a lot of value to the field, even though we had units like Water Cookie and Molly. These are 2 very difficult units that a lot of people have to deal with and have been not dealing with it very, very well throughout ladder play currently right now in today's meta. And I am a massive fan of Spiers, and it's tough to see Spiers go down here, but he did go down to fantastic and someone who very well deserves it.
Oh, I know. It's tragic too. I want to see Spiers play more because I find his matches to be super fun to watch. But unfortunately, it looks like Mr. Shaw is going to be taking that dream away, and he's moving forward into round 2. Again, everybody, we're in the round 1 phase of the tournament. We're going through 2 rounds of the bracket today, and then on Sunday, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Pacific time, or whatever time you showed up today, we're going to be going through the grand finals to find the 2 who are going to meet our Latin America finalists at the finals for the whole thing, the whole America Summit later down the line.
Yep, that is right. I look forward to every one of those matches here. I'm looking forward to our next matches coming up here. Do we drop a spoiler? Who's playing next, Evan?
Do we drop a spoiler? Oh, we're going into it, so it's not too much of a spoiler. We're going to be seeing High Speed Carry versus Apps next. And I know, Stoic, I know you're excited to see Apps play.
Definitely. I mean, we all have seen Apps play live on Twitch. And, you know, he's got a play style. He's one of those players where I think a lot of people know what Apps is going to be bringing to the table right now. But I want to say Apps knows better than that. We're going to see something different from him. We're going to see something exciting, but we cannot forget that he's going up against a absolute newcomer here. I believe he is familiar with high-speed carry. We have seen high-speed carry on Twitch before. I don't believe he is a Twitch streamer, but I know we've seen his name out there. I know he's out there viewing and watching other high-end ATA players. So Apps knows what he's about. He's seen him on the ladder before, so curious to see what happens in this next match.
Yeah, let's see if he can have a great showing. Again, Apps, super prolific player. We've seen him all over the place. He streams. He also plays Chronicles, and this is his first time in a tournament setting. So he's no stranger to the competitive side of Summoners War, but this is Beckett. And let's see how he does against high-speed carry.
Oof, here we go, guys. Pre-bans getting locked in as we get into the very first match with Apps and high-speed carry. Pre-bans getting locked in here. Yun Hong getting a pre-ban, and Shizuka also getting a pre-ban by high-speed carry.
Very targeted bans here. Looks like they have done their homework. They know a lot about each other. They probably fought on the ladder quite a bit. That's the thing. Once you get to these high ranks, you really know each other well. Oh, Woyoung. Are we about to see... Are both sides playing for turn one? Are we going to try to see cleave comps?
I believe I know Apps for being a very much so a turn one player. I mean, we've got the 33 speed lead. Oliver coming out for high speed carry. And I'm sure Apps is a massive fan at playing against Oliver's.
Yeah, a massive fan in the same way that I'm a massive fan of playing against Oliver's. This is that right there. High speed carry just picked exactly a look at the meta today. Oh, but mixing it up with the Water Puppet Master, who's also making a splash too. I love Apps' pick, Stud. Yeah,
so Apps right now is playing exactly how he has played out when he live streams here. We have seen this draft coming out of Apps before. I'm not too sure how often we get to see an Ethna coming out of Apps here, but I think Ethna is one of those units you lock in to guarantee that he's going to be taking turn one with that unit. He does have double speed lead. We don't often get to see these kind of speed leads in the form of Woyoung and, of course, the Maximilian. Last picking that Chung Pung, getting locked in by Apps. We do have 233 speed leads coming out of high speed carry.
Yeah, and Apps has kind of got him in a bit stuck between a Woyoung and a hard place here. It's like, what is the ban? Well, no matter what you end up banning, there's always a second option. If you ban the Max, you die to control. If you ban the Dark Robo, you die to attack bar reduction. You die to just the traditional defense break damage. Chung Pung is banned. More is banned on both sides. Yep. We're going into game
33
one.
Speed lead coming out for high speed carry, 28 speed lead coming out for Apps here. Let's see if high speed carry is as fast as we expect him to be. And we have a very fast Water Puppet Master coming out here. Does have third skill available.
The prophecy was foretold. He does in fact have very high speed.
Yep, and we have got Ethna going to be getting boosted up here. So, not Ethna, I'm sorry, Masha getting boosted up there, almost taking out the Ethna. Going to use third skill to heal his team up here, pushing up those attack bars. Going to see a big strip come out, and strip not going to be landing on top of that Oliver. Look at all of that damage coming to the field from that Maximilian. Third skill is going to be dropping one of these units. Gets that stun on top of the Oliver. Apps looking very good, keeping back high speed carry. Everybody's looking really, really low, and we've got Samat. He already used his passive.
You're telling me that Apps lost the turn one and still got his cleave off? This is crazy.
That's right. I mean, if that Ethna was not here right now, I think we'd be singing a different song. But Lasha's going to get dropped out here from the third skill of Woyoung. Apps is going to be taking round one away from high speed carry.
Heavens, man. A suspiciously tanky Ethna managed to make its way through a defense break from Lasha and stay standing long enough to deny the Oliver. That was crazy. Apps actually did a great job there, having his cleave denied and then taking it back. Amazing.
Yep, that really was interesting, and it's kind of surprising in itself. High speed carry has seen that draft from Apps before and still ended up trying to compete with it with speed. I mean, what didn't work in high speed carry's favor here is Ethna should have been killed. It should have been gone, and it was not gone. Masha was not able to take out the Ethna, and I want to say artifacts of a big play right here. Probably a lot of damage taken from fire is what is on top of that Ethna to be able to survive all of that damage here. And Apps, knowing his opponent, bans out that Gianna. Ethna is gonna get the ban.
Ethna made an impression there, huh, Stoic? That is so funny, man. Yeah, high speed carry, staying true to his name, definitely has pretty high speed. Let's see what they can do with it going into the second game.
Wow, App's still going with the potentially the same draft. No, we're gonna see that Water Puppet Master is gonna be coming out here. High speed carry, of course, with the Oliver and Yan Hong. That was pre-banned in the first match, available in the second match here, alongside Water Ryu Moore and the Masha.
Funny taking away the Water Puppet Master. We'll have to see what High Speed Carry decides to ban this time. I'm almost curious if he does it on the Wool Young just to deny the 28 speed lead, the boost, and the attack buff, which might give him what he needs to survive.
It looks like he's playing this Water Puppet Master the same way that he was going to be playing Yan Hong. So I think we're going to see a similar play where he goes Yan Hong into the Masha and try to eliminate a unit in the form of potentially one of these Robos. These Robos are definitely going to be dropping to the amount of damage that we could see from this Masha, but we'll be finding out how that goes on a little later on as we get this draft wrapped up here. Last pick coming out of High Speed Carry. Let's see what he's got in store for us. Does he change it up? Are we going to see something familiar?
I don't know what he's going to bring here. I don't know High Speed's Carry box well enough. Juno could outlast the dots from the Dark Robo, so that's a good pick considering he was planning on banning the Maximilian. That might put him in a pretty good spot to outlast what Apps is bringing to the table, but let's see. Apps is at game point.
Let's see what happens. I mean, we do have a lot of damage with this Masha. Looks like that third skill is going to be coming out there. Does get 2 freezes. Of course, one of those freezes is going to be landing on top of the Juno. He's going to be boosting up his key and getting the attack buffs there. We've got more stuns coming out here. He needs to be able to push the attack bar back on top of this Juno. So this Juno is going to be healing up the team just a little bit. Stuns going to be coming out. Of course, needs to land on top of that Oliver. More damage coming towards the more damage coming towards the Juno. Does get the full team stun here. He doesn't have strip available. No despair stun's going to be coming to the table as well. He does have second skill to help boost up one of these units, and is going to be the Wind Robo getting boosted up. Third skill coming out to remove this Oliver from the field. Does not remove the Oliver just yet, but this second skill might be enough. This is going to be the first skill to finish him off. Are you kidding? The additional
The
turn.
sheer amount of stuns, attack bar reduction. This is the new Ganithor.
Man, Apps with a brilliant draft here. Juno's still potentially going to be a problem unit with a nice little despair stun dropping on top of this Dark Robo. More damage coming towards this Masha. Does get the glancing as well. Attack bar reduction coming in once again. Another additional turn coming out from this Wind Robo. Wind Robo does get a dismount on top of the Masha. Masha still glance. Not going to be critting here. A little bit of damage comes through with the sustain of the Wool Young. Apps feeling so safe right now.
Oh, and he is shields up, weapons online right now. He can take down High Speed Carry and be relaxed while doing it, even letting Masha die to that carefully placed dot. And Wool Young just to heal everyone up and just poke away from here. That was an excellent pivot to a control cleave from a cleave for Apps.
It really is. Well done, Apps. Wool Young bringing so much value to the table here. Look at this additional damage going to be there to finish off absolutely everybody. Our very first 2-0 Apps with a commanding lead victory moving forward in today's first match for him in a tournament stage.
Apps was truly ready for his first showing at a tournament setting there, Stoic. He had clearly been planning this out. I loved his draft from the very beginning. We talked about this. You're like, what do you ban? If you ban out the damage, you're going to get control cloven. If you don't ban out of control, you're just going to get regular cloven. They're like, what's going to happen? What do you do?
It really is crazy. It's a very, very good, I guess, control cleave. It's like a control damage cleave. There's just so much going on for Apps and such great value out of everything that he drafted there. I almost want to say, like, High Speed Carry, you've seen this before. You should know how to deal with it. He did not handle it very well at all, but, you know, we'll have to see next time. It was great seeing another new face to the tournament setting here, especially here at America's Summit. Well done, High Speed Carry. But Apps, man, way to pull through. That was a very, very big commanding victory for him.
Great showing, but it does hear from here, chat. For those of you watching, if you didn't see the bracket earlier, because Apps won, that means that he fights Rygecki in a little bit. And that's tough, man. Going up against Rygecki right after this, like, you have not seen anything yet. If you want more competitive Summoners War gameplay, this is going to be it. You're going to see all your favorite players and some SWC champs, some Legend Tournament champs, all in the back end of this tournament today.
Yep, that's right. Apps is definitely not looking forward to playing up against Rygecki, but I always see Rygecki as a very humble person. Rygecki doesn't look forward to facing anybody. Rygecki takes every match like it's his last. So Rygecki,
you're so right. He's a very humble guy. He's a very humble guy. You're so right about that. Rygecki takes everything so seriously, and he should. He doesn't take this for granted, right? He's in this round 2 matchup. He deserves to be here, but everybody here is a threat.
Yep, that is right. We have such a crazy next match here. You know, Big V being America's Cup champion in the past before, going up against Zex. You know, I don't know too much about Zex. Zex is in for a treat, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big V has got a lot in his box. He has a lot of tournament experience too. That's something that we sometimes forget to factor into this, is that Big V could potentially be coming into this a little bit more relaxed, because he's been in a tournament before. This is it, guys. This is the biggest match of the first round of the tournament. These are the players you want to see. Keep your eyes peeled, and I better not see anybody blink, because I swear to God, you're going to miss it.
Yep, if you blinked back, and I believe it was 2022 or was it 2021 or 2022? I want to say it was 2021. If you blinked, you missed out on big plays coming out of Big V. He brought absolutely insane giraffes when it came into playing up against players the likes of Thompson and True Whale. Big V is an absolute monster here, so please don't blink. You might miss something insane coming out of Big V.
Big V is the one that they tell stories about to keep children behaving. This is the one. He is the monster that lies in wait. This is the big match, guys. Zex versus Big V. I couldn't think of a better equivalent of getting thrown into the deep end of a pool to learn how to swim than fighting up against Big V in your first tournament.
Well, pre-bans locked in as we get into the match between Zex and Big V. Ragdoll and Chung Pung gonna get the pre-ban. Zex with the first pick here. Let's see what he opts to take away from Big V, or just apply to his own draft here. Let's see.
And let's see, yeah, I'm unfamiliar with what Zex has in store. It looks like that 33% speed lead from Oliver is probably going to be the MVP, the most desired unit in the pick bans early. Ganny coming out so early. What's going on here?
Oh, well, that's so... Look, what year is it, Evan? We're seeing a Chiwu and a Ganny as a first pick coming out of Big V. Gio with a Masha as well with Big V. Gio's definitely signaling that Oliver is going to be coming through here. But Zex demanding that he's going to be taking the very first turn when he's going to bring a unit in the likes of Eshir.
You will know her name, Stoic. Yo is a great counter to Oliver, considering that he takes so many turns and uses so many of his high-value skills in his kit. He just feeds that unit. Oh, the Douglas here. If he locks that in, that is such a cool pick, because Big V, as great as his draft is, he's not prepared for the Douglas. Bans go out. Douglas is gone. Juno's gone. Pretty much had to ban both of those.
Yeah, both those units were 100% going to be banned out there when that Juno hit the ground. As soon as Volantis was there and Juno hits the field, Juno's probably going to be gone. And just Douglas is going to be a little bit too much for Big V to handle here. So let's get into it, guys. We have our very first match between Big V and Zex. And we're going to be kicking things off with that Escher using second skill, getting a nice little speed buff on top of his entire team. But Gio with the Kama coming out, not getting the full team strip, or the full strip on top of that Masha.
Yeah, Gio cutting in because of her passive. Look at this. She's already getting so many turns in this game, and it's barely even started. The only thing that Zex has to worry about here is that he has a lot of strip, not a ton of damage. So we're going to see if Oliver can do his thing and control the team in Stoic. It looks like he's well on his way to doing that.
That's right. I mean, controlling that Ganny is going to be really important. There's so much value to get out of the second and third skill from Ganymede here. He does have that third skill available, but he is going to be glanced here. That'll be very tough to land everything that he's going to be looking for. But he's got to go for the skill 2 on top of that all to get the attack bar reduction. Looks like he definitely got a little bit of attack bar reduction for sure. Stun's going to be landing on top of Gio. And we have third skill available. A little bit of additional damage coming towards that Ganymede. Ganymede still holding up tall.
Oh yeah, you can see the additionals coming out from that Eshir's third skill. Like I sometimes forget that Eshir does some seriously decent damage on that third skill.
He really does, and that's all additional damage as well. You can build it with crit too, and Escher can pump a lot of damage coming out of that third skill as well. We've got Kama available with Gio. Gio getting the Despair stun on top of that Volantis.
The Despair stun is just icing on top. That is so lovely. The Karma would have been plenty there. That's so great. And now Zex is looking like he's kind of sitting pretty with this control online, but the thing is, Stoic, it's a little fragile. If the Carnal gets an opportunity, he's going to wreak havoc on this whole team.
He really is. I mean, he might as well throw down this third skill potentially and just get the attack bar push back here, removing all these speeds. And he is just going to go with the second skill, getting the strip and the strip and a little bit more damage coming towards this Oliver. Third skill is going to be coming out here. Should be a lot of damage from Big V's units.
I love seeing the ventilate on the table because it can't be affected by cooldown increasing or reducing skills, right? I think that's something that we don't always see come out as like an Oliver counter, but he's ready and waiting to refresh the Carnal.
I wish my Geo despair stunned as much as this one did. It's insane seeing all the despair stuns come from this unit. Whether it's first skill, strip despair stun, or first skill, defense break, strip despair stun, second skill, karma despair stun. Just so much value Big V's getting from this one unit right now. There is a stun sitting on top of this Chi with a little bit of damage coming towards it as well. Ganny with second skill available. Goes right back to the Kano. Kano with big damage with his third skill. Might be able enough to finish off the Oliver. That's going to be a lot of damage coming towards the Volantis as well.
This is what we were talking about. We said that Cardinal was going to do some big work if he got the opportunity, but everybody's still alive, and now Volantis has the tough choice. Do I do the dot move? And he does.
He does. I think Zek's in the position where he had to get all the value that he can right now, because he's got 2 units that are going to be very easy for Big V to get rid of, so he had to take advantage of the skills that he has, because it's just all that he has. He's going to be down 2 units very, very shortly, and it might not even matter. Big V's got second skill. He can put this anywhere he wants. He does go towards the Ashir. Ashir, of course, having the second skill to be able to heal up the team here, but I don't know if this Moore has enough in the tank here. He has to go with first skill. He can't use that second skill because he can't sacrifice his last unit. Second skill available. There's a lot of additional damage. It is not over for Zex, though.
Definitely not over. Zex could pull this through. Moore is known for pulling ahead in situations like this. He is a solo machine taking down the Cardinal.
No way! The passive's down. The defense breaks landed. He needs the kill with the second skill. Is it going to be enough here? Wait, he chose not to use second skill?
He didn't want to. He didn't want to do something. I don't think he wanted to boot. I don't know what the decision making was.
It doesn't matter. He got him here. Anyway,
Zex with the turnaround.
I am still a little confused as to why he had. Like, did he not have? He had the second skill up, and he chose. You know what? Calculated. That's right. It ended up working out. Calculated. Exactly. Exactly. It was all in his head, man. He was in the tank. He knew what was going to happen. He's like, if I save this second skill right now, I'm going to win the game. And that's exactly what happened. Yes. Just yes. Pre-bans from last time. Ragdoll and Chungpung now available. New pre-bans coming out right now. Wow. Zex with the turnaround. That was crazy. New awesome. Pre-bans locked in Gianna and Moore. Gonna be the pre-bans here.
Yeah, I'd ban the Moore too.
I'd ban the Moore too, Stoic. Dude, I would not want to see this more. More despair done so much. I'm surprised that it wasn't. Well, no. Big V's got to ban out Moore, and I'm surprised Zex didn't ban out that Gio. Gio was just as on fire as that Moore was. Oh yeah, Zex really proven that he deserves to be here. Up against a champ from SWC's America's Cup previous. Like, this is pretty crazy. I want to say this is a mistake by Big V. The first pick of the Ganny's not a desirable unit that most people are drafting right now. Big V's using this unit for himself, and I think he should have dug into potentially taking that Oliver away from Zex here. But we'll find out how impactful this Oliver will be. You know, it can be very impactful. We'll see how much it will be for Zex. Of course, it's going to be taking that Volantis away from Zex. It's going to be taking the counter pick that's usually up against a Volantis in the form of Juno. You know, I couldn't agree more with you about your diagnosis on the Ganny there, Stoic. It should be more along that same pick pattern where the Volantis and the Juno are sitting. You want it more in the third or last pick sector of Veramos to deny dots glancing. I really like that pick here, actually. If you're going to make Vero work, this is the place. Yeah, Vero and a Rakuni coming out for Zex, which is quite interesting. If Big V brings enough attack bar reduction, he may not even have to worry about these units really doing much here. So, curious to see what the rest of Big V's draft is going to be, because he does have attack reduction in the form of Ganymede, and he's got 2 more picks here. And he might just bring a lot of damage, and Masha is one of those units that can do that. See, that's the one failing of the Ganymede that we were talking about, is that, like, while his second skill does counter Oliver in a way, it also falters to Oliver with the attack bar reduction. The exact same last pick that we saw before from Zex that Douglas needed to get banned before, and the same is true now. Oh, that's so weird to see the Douglas there as that last pick. I understand that it ended up getting banned out here, and I mean, it's just pretty much the Volantis that scares Big V. Well, the Volantis hits the field, and that's where Douglas is going to be getting a ton of value. But he has 3 other units on the field that you don't have to actually AoE or have a choice but to AoE to trigger Douglas. So interesting last pick there, but it ended up getting banned out anyway, so it doesn't matter too much here. Tomo going to be kicking things off with the Karma, going to be landing on top of that Ganymede game now that they're using these skills without getting a huge, massive penalty on him.
Getting a lot of procs early from Rykuni, which is actually not that great for Zex. That is not where you want to see those violent procs coming in when there's not much to do, not much to heal. Volantis has some things to just kind of pump out. He's trying not to put out buffs. He doesn't have a lot to strip, so you don't want to feed the Veramos later too.
Yeah, definitely not. I love the decision of trying to tag it out that Tomo. Tomo's the perfect unit to try and get rid of right now. He needs a Spiers to land on top of that Oliver. Not getting any value, though. Does get the additional turn from Molly. Does he choose to throw it on the skill 2? Yeah, he does choose to get the cleanse there on his enemy.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough call to make on whether or not you cleanse the Ganny, because he had low attack bar, and he had no skills to lose, so I think he made the right call. Giving himself the turn, Rykuni here, trying to cleanse up, do some heals for the team. Now, does Volantis throw it out? No, still holding.
Yeah, he should definitely be holding on to that Ventilate. I don't think there's a reason to use it. Does get the glancing to land on top of the Oliver. Oliver definitely needs to get glanced up so he can stop that third and second skill from getting Zex a lot of value here. We definitely have a long match on our hands right now.
Look at this exchange. You're so right. I was just about to say the same thing, Stoic. It feels like these players are kind of stuck in the early game of this fight.
Yeah, really. I mean, the Molly's going to be bringing a ton of value to Big V's team, as well as that the Juno for Big V, and then what's the sustain here for Zex? Zex has Rykuni, and of course the Veramos as well. There's just not a lot of high volatility for both these players. I guess it's volatile when it comes to the amount of sustain that we see on this field. But I mean, there's a lot of additional damage coming out of Juno, and he's putting that damage directly on top of the Oliver to help stop that unit from getting, I guess, more turns and stopping Big V from getting his attack bar back up.
I see what's going on too. Big V is in a really inconvenient spot with the Volantis because the Veramos is following right behind him. So if he puts up dots, if he puts up glancing, Veramos is right there behind him to cleanse it.
Yeah, definitely. But those first skills, it's still a lot of value. Volantis has the ability to stun with that first skill, and I believe it's a 2-hit still. So a little bit of damage, a little bit of additional damage coming out from Volantis as well. Or maybe it's a single hit. I can't remember if it's a single hit or a double tap here.
Oh, he needs to do something. Juno here, this is going to be the first big push that we see right here. Juno's going to be the one pumping out the damage from Big V, so keep an eye on that. She's more than likely going to be the decision-making factor of this whole thing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that additional damage from the Juno hitting 3 times is going to be ignoring the defense of all units there, and it's a ton of damage you're putting out there. So Juno's definitely going to be unit to carry as this match progresses. Yeah. You're going to see Juno pump out more and more damage. And it is a single hit from the Druid.
It looks like we're kind of stuck in the early game here, but you got to keep in mind, look at the damage ratios that's coming out here. Big V is pulling pretty far ahead of Zex when it comes to damage output from Juno, and it's looking like Zex might be the first one to lose a unit in that Oliver coming out.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of stuns, though, coming out. That's a lot of value from Zex here, but he is going to get a little bit of healing here from not just the Molly, but the Juno as well. There's the additional damage to drop that Oliver from the field here. Now, I mean, I don't know if it's one of these situations where the writing is on the wall and Zex just caves in and gives the win to Big V, or, you know, is there a chance that he gets his value and he's able to try to push forward here?
I think he accidentally picked into a game where he just gets out-supported, he gets outlasted here, because this is definitely a game of inches, and Zex is losing him in the current state.
Yep. I mean, Big V's got Ventilate, and it's like he can't even take advantage of Ventilate because no one's actually using any skills. I mean, we're seeing Kamas going off, we're seeing the second skill of Veramos going off, but like Big V, I've never seen someone press skill 1 so much.
I know, and you're in a position now where it's like, it's Karma and Seal Magic are the things that you got to watch out for. Those are going to be the only 2 big skills that are really going to come out, aside from Veramos' Stomp, but even then you're not worried about that so much. Zex is in a really fragile spot.
So close. He was trying to get down the Ganymede. Ganymede was almost there, but, you know, it was, I believe it was an initial turn coming out of Molly, and of course Juno popping out, getting some more sustain as well, and just Big V clap back immediately, and Ganymede is just getting healed up. There's just nothing Zex can do about it. The second this Tomo drops here, I'm kind of hoping Zex just concedes, because this is just an awkward battle of attrition.
Because it is over in the grand scheme of things, because despite all this, Juno is really the only monster that matters, and that's exactly what happened. Zex gives it up to Big V.
Yeah, there we go. It's like, I don't want to say what a brilliant draft from Big V. It was just such an interesting draft from both these players that they just played so safe that it ended up just getting dragged out very, very long. And Big V won the war of attrition. That's kind of what it comes down to it. You got your pre-bans from last time, Gianna and more. They are going to be available as we get into round number 3. New pre-bans getting locked in right now.
So maybe it is okay to blink from time to time. Maybe it's okay to blink.
Yeah,
Chat,
guys,
you're allowed
I'm
to blink
sorry
again.
we told you not to blink. Everyone's just like eyes are bulging out of their head.
My
Get some eye
eyes.
drops, guys, because
My eyes.
you can blink. Please blink. Use the draft to blink. But once the match starts, depending how things get into, we'll let you know.
Chat
We'll let you
made
know,
me
guys,
laugh.
when you can blink. How's that?
I saw a 5 years later message in chat. And it made me laugh.
Man, there's the
Oh,
Oliver
that's
getting prioritized by Zex once again. He's had Oliver for all 3 matches. Big V finally getting away from Ganymede. We're going to see a Moore and Masha coming out for Big V.
Yeah, this is the game that makes it a little bit faster. I like these picks. These are definitely going to expedite the type of game we're going to have here.
Yep, Zek's going to be looking at another Raccoon coming out here in Miles as well.
This is a nice mix, Stoic. We got the defensive approach from Raccoon. We got the speed to keep up and the damage from Miles. I think I like Zex's draft right now.
Yeah, I'm always a fan. I think Miles and Oliver are very, very good units. And Raccoon finally getting some attention ever since being fed way back in a collaboration of like 2 or 3 years ago, getting fed in multiple animations there. So Raccoon trying to make a return, showing why never feed Raccoon for nothing.
Don't mess with Raccoon. He's got all these messages. He's got to send it to Ryu. He's going to send it to the Dark Vampire Lord. He's getting fed to everybody. It's such a shame. Man. Such a shame.
Chung Pung and Escher coming out for Big V. A lot of value here. Great synergy, of course, with the Moore and Chung Pung. Obviously, turn 1 units in the form of Escher. Looks like Tomo is going to be coming back for Zex. He's got 1 other unit here to draft. Is it going to be the Douglas again? No.
It almost could be. Zex keeps finding himself in the position where he could pick a Douglas, going for the Water Holly. Made it all the way to this point without drafting it. That's actually that's what he needed last game.
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what Zex needed last game, was that Water Holly Berry in that very, very crazy sustained draft that was happening right there. That could have been the unit to turn around there. But you know what? It's round number 3 anyway. So let's see what happens. Let's see if this Water Cookie can be enough here. Narsha's coming into the picture here with Big V. Big V with a lot of aggression right now. He's got a lot of damage onto the field. I want to say in Big V's shoes, he's got to ban out that Water Holly Berry. He doesn't want that unit to interrupt the damage and volatility he's trying to bring to the field.
Considering that the Narsha is probably going to get banned, then I totally agree with you, because that Narsha is actually a surprisingly good answer, considering it's got a strip and defense break. There you go. I think that you called it. That's exactly the only answer.
Yep, 100%. Let's see what happens here. 33 speed lead coming up for Zex, 24 speed lead for Big V, guys. Great synergy when it comes to Big V's draft here. Is it going to be enough to get a 3rd round victory over Zex, or can the newcomer take down previous America's Cup champion?
This is the game. Whoever wins this one is going to meet Thompson later on in the day. So this is a crazy important game. Here comes Masha to try to clean up something. Maybe try to put some early damage on the Raccoon so he just cleanses himself from now on. Chipping away at the Tome away is a totally fine answer.
Definitely gets the full team strip coming out of the Moor with serious matter available, getting all the value he can. I do believe I saw some resists in there, and it looks like the Raccoon is going to be the unit resisting some nonsense there. But Zek's still looking kind of healthy, is looking a little low. Not the worst thing to happen right now. There's that 3rd skill going off with Escher onto the Tomo. Tomo getting dropped here from the Narsha. Suddenly Zek's not feeling super comfortable right now, now that he's down a unit.
That aggression, that was a statement from Big V. He wants Zex out of here. He wants to go further into the tournament.
Yep, the defense break sitting on top of the Miles. Miles might be the next unit for Big V to start targeting out here. And of course, no additional turn coming out of the Miles as well. Can't shake that defense break. More damage going to be coming towards Miles as well. Keep in mind, Raccoon is going to be here to cleanse up at least some of those debuffs here and heal up his team. As long as he can cleanse that heal block.
Yeah, I love the heal block, because if he cleanses just the death break and the lance, then he still won't get the benefits. Oh, exactly as anticipated. Wow. What the heck? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that worked out like that. Call that a caster's curse. That's rough.
I know.
Second
I'm so
skill
sorry,
doesn't get a stun on top of the Masha here, but is he looking to apply that heal block? Oh my. Well, that heal block can still be cleansed, though, unless he gets the attack break on the Miles, which I think would have been quite interesting if he did that. Does try to get as much value with that second skill as possible.
Masha loves critting in positions like this. You got to push her back.
Yep, does get the attack bar pushback and potentially the reset as well. Second skill going towards the Escher. Of course, Raccoon is going to be cleansing up that 1 debuff and healing the Miles with additional turn as well. First skill is going right into that Masha. Masha really needs to get dismounted here.
Yeah, that's the big threat over there. Like, she loves doing work in these types of situations. Like, she could easily land a clutch defense break and take down the Miles if her second skill was available and not reset by the Oliver, obviously.
Yep, I do like Big V opting to change target here and going right for the Oliver to help even out this damage because Rykuni can only heal up one of these here. We're going to see a first skill, no Despair Stun coming out onto the Miles as well. A little bit of damage, though, coming towards Chung Pung. Does need to confirm dismount on the Masha.
Is he going to dump the whole second skill? He does, gets the stun, so that means Masha's not going to have as much of an impact even with the proc. Does she crit?
Well,
oh,
Masha puts a lot of damage on top of that Oliver, so Masha's still very dangerous now that she's dismantled. Looking for a heal block, does not get the heal block with the Escher with the first skill and the additional turn for second skill to help push back the attack bar of that Chung Pung as well. And he Despair Stun's coming out here. You might want to just go for the attack break on Miles here to share the damage so that Miles or Oliver potentially one of them doesn't get healed up here, but Rykuni needs a lot of additional turns to help get sustained back onto the field. Third skill's going out on top of the Chung Pung, reducing that attack bar, getting that reset.
Man, Big V is showing how hard it is to fight up against a Rykuni's persistent heal as well as an Oliver. Oliver is still just so good. I swear they nerfed that thing, but, you know, he's still amazing.
Dang, Oliver really popping off in this match right now. A lot of sustain coming out from this Rykuni as well. Oliver was able to pump out a lot of attack bar reduction, a lot of additional turns as well with the first and second skill being able to bounce back and forth. I think we need to see a heal block coming out of Escher, but another a debuff to land on a target.
Okay, so now we're in a situation where Oliver is now primary target because Moore can only solo if Oliver's off the table.
Yep, this Oliver is going to be absolutely devastating right now. At the same time, like, still Miles is a very, very dangerous unit. What we need to see is a nice second skill coming out of Big V with the Waterloo Moore. And then, of course, we've got a little bit of sustain when it comes to this Escher. Let's see what Escher has. He keeps getting reset, though, by this Oliver. And he's going to get reset once again. He's got to take that unit down here. Zex looking really, really good now, trying to take down previous America's Cup champion, Big V. All the attack bar reduction in the world. The writing, I think, is on the wall already with both of these very fast, very impactful units. The Sky Surfers just keeping back this unit from doing anything here. Zex taking down previous America's Cup champion, Big V.
Zex has got it by proxy. Does that make him the new America's Cup champion? We'll see. He's certainly making a show at the America's Summit, that's for sure. But again, guys, he doesn't have it easy. He's going up against Thompson now. Thompson could potentially deny him a place amongst the top three at the grand finals on Sunday, but we'll find out shortly. What an incredible match start.
Yep, it really is. This is actually our first newcomer here in, well, at least North American Summit that we've seen move up throughout the matches, because we've seen the likes of Faras, Apps, and then a name that is escaping me right now. Oh, Mr. Shaw was one as well. So we got Mr. Shaw, and we've got Zex moving forward, which are newcomers here. And I guess Apps to the tournament scene as a newcomer moving forward here. So this is exciting, man. We've got great faces here moving forward to go up against our players that we've seen throughout America's Cup. So a lot of entertaining matches to come for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I can't wait to see how these newcomers adapt to the Titans that wait for them in the second round here. Guys, this round one of the two rounds that we're going to be covering here today. You've got a lot more games ahead of us coming up here, guys. We're going to be taking a 5-minute break before we go into round two. So stick with us, get some water while you wait, and we'll see you back here shortly after just 5 minutes, everybody.
For sure. Oh, and our bracket for later. Here we go. So we're going to see these matches that are going to be happening later on. True Whale versus Faras, Madreamd versus Mr. Shah, Rygecki versus Apps, and Thompson versus Zex. Very exciting matches to be seen later on.
What an intense start we're going to have when we come back. True Whale versus Faras. Faras, I see you're in chat. You better be getting ready. All right, everybody. We'll see you back here in 5 minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2023 Americas Summit. This is the North American sector. My name is Evan, and I'm still with Stoic. Stoic, what's going on, man?
What's happening, Evan? We've had a very exciting day, man. We've had fantastic matches in our very first round here. We've got newcomers moving forward. We've got familiar faces moving forward, and they're going up against some absolute monsters today.
Had an incredible tournament so far, and the best is still ahead of us, Stoic. Round 2 is absolutely stacked. Right off the bat, we're leading off with True Whale versus Faras. True Whale, who has multiple legend wins under his belt. Then we go into Madreamd versus Mr. Shaw. Then Rygecki versus Apps, and Thompson versus Zex to close up the day.
Yep, super exciting matches here. And we have probably one of our most anticipated matches tonight, or today. It's going to be Rygecki and Apps. Apps being our only player to go 2-0 in his previous match. He's got to go up against Rygecki, who is last year's America's Cup champion. So I think that's definitely going to be one match to have a lot of people's attention on.
And what a tall order to go up against Rygecki. All these players are just at the top of their game, at the top of the game. And we're starting with two heavy hitters, too. We're getting ready for True Whale versus Faras. Now, what are we expecting to see from True Whale going into this start?
Man, I mean, they're coming out of True Whale. We've seen his box before. We've seen him in Legend tournaments. We've seen him all over the place. He was a runner-up for last year as well. True Whale's got a lot of tools, and that's something very, very dangerous. That's something to be very, very wary about. And with his opponent, Faras is actually missing some of regular element Nat 5s that he really has, some key elements that are Nat 5s that you really should have. So Faras definitely at a disadvantage when it comes to the tools inside the box, but not just that alone. I feel like it doesn't stop there when it comes to True Whale. He's just got so much power behind everything he's got.
Oh yeah, a deep box, and let's see if he can use it to his advantage to get a slice of the prize pool today. Again, for those of you who weren't here at the top of the show, $800 to number one, $450 to second place, and $200 to the third place winner, who will eventually be decided via a special third place match on the second day of this. And again, guys, this is round 1 and 2 of the Americas Summit North American sector, the grand finals of which are going to be Sunday, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Pacific time, or whatever time you showed up today on Sunday. We're going into a super exciting match, everybody. And before we do, I want to remind you that this tournament is brought to you by the LA Meetup. If you haven't done so yet, type in command LA Meetup in chat. If you think you can make it to Los Angeles on April 22nd, that's a Saturday. It'll be a great time. We're all going to be there. Go ahead and register. It is open right now. And you can also use command America Summit to learn a little bit more about the tournament today. Stoic, I'm so stoked for this next game, man.
I am too. I always like watching True Whale play. I love watching Faras play as well. Big fan of Faras. But I mean, again, like, he has one heck of a match that he's got to play right now. This is definitely not one of those matches where you think like, oh, Faras has an incredible chance at taking down True Whale, because this is a tough one, man. And it strictly comes down to the box. I think Faras has a great mind. I think he's a great player, but there's just one of those things that you can't take away from somebody, and that's the tools, man. There's just so many tools when it comes to True Whale. True Whale's got an abundance more of experience as well when it comes to playing in these tournament settings.
Yeah, True Whale has the tools and he knows how to use them. Meanwhile, Faras is no stranger to competitive RTA. He's also a host of the World Arena podcast. I want to hear from chat. We got chat open on the side. Who do you got for this matchup? Who do you think is going to take this one? Are you rooting for Faras or are you rooting for True Whale? I don't know where I'm going to choose to stay just on my fence. I'm very comfortable here. I'm not going to pick a side right now. I plan on watching this game unfold ahead of us and seeing what's going on. Now, while some things like the participants have updated between round 1 and round 2, meaning you got the heavy hitters in there, some things haven't. We're still doing a best of 3 all the way to the end of the tournament today. We have a lot of fun games ahead of us. And like Stoic pointed out, we've only had 1-2-0 today from Apps. So we're likely to have a whole bulk of rounds. And Stoic, so you said that you were looking forward to that Rygecki versus Apps match. Are there any other matchups that caught your eye?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Thompson. I've always liked to watch Thompson play. I feel like Thompson's got a lot of fun things that he could bring to the table as well. I mean, he's going up against Zex, and you know what Zex going to be bringing to the table as well. I mean, we got to see a little bit of it, of what he played in his previous match here. So Thompson's definitely one to be watching that match very, very closely. He's going to be gauging like what he should be bringing to the field as well, because that's just like Thompson to do so. So I think if Thompson doesn't overthink anything, you know, I think he'll do just fine.
Yeah, that's the key, is not to overthink. Thompson, one of the best players in the whole arena. However, he has a tendency to get stuck in the tank. I have the utmost faith in him today. I think he's going to put up an amazing fight up against Zex. He might even have what it takes to take the whole tournament. I know that he's some people's favorite. Seeing what we saw of Zex in the last matchup, do you think that Thompson can counter that bruiser strat well? What do you think about that?
I think so. I mean, Thompson experiments with a lot of things. You know, he's experienced a lot of the same play style. So if it's any form of like, you know, flipping the switch when you're bringing out the Molly, the Water Holly Berry, even like a Baleo, and just going like full turn 2, full like built to receive kind of style draft, Thompson's very much ready to go up against play styles like this.
He also has that Narsha, who we said is kind of a unique counter to the Hollyberry as well. So I don't necessarily think that he's afraid of that pick, and he might even steal it. And here we go, guys. So it looks like True Whale versus Faras is approaching right now. We're about ready to go into the first round of this best of 3. True Whale versus Faras. I see a lot of votes for Faras. Lots of fan of the World Arena podcast.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to see World Arena Podcast go out on top here. But let's see what happens, guys. We get into this very first match with True Whale and Faras. Pre-bans are going to get locked in here. Very curious to see what the pre-bans could be, because, I mean, there's just so many things to worry about when it comes to Faras picking a ban here. And it looks like that Dak Onimusha is going to get the pre-ban. True Whale is going to be pre-banning Tian Lang, even though True Whale has a Tian Lang.
Interesting. So he doesn't want to have that option either. He's like, I don't need that crutch to lean on. I don't need a Tian Lang.
Oliver coming to the table right now. Oliver been a first pick in many, many occasions. We have Faras going to be locking in the Moor or Water Ryu with the Fire and Bison, also known as Cattle.
Man, I can't believe the frequency, the consistency that we've seen Oliver locked down in that first spot here. Oh man, this draft is kind of looking like what we saw at Zex actually starting.
Yeah, we're going to see, well, Big V took this exact same draft that True.
Oh, yeah, you're right, he did.
The Volantis and the Juno, both those units comboing up, they're going to be taking them together. Nyx and Cigar are going to be coming out for Faras. Very interesting draft here.
Yeah, that is a combination of units that we haven't really gotten to see played. We saw Cigar picked way back in the day, but having a Nyx at the Americas Summit, now that's cool.
Ooh, Molly's going to be coming to the table. Looks like True Whale's in this like middle ground speed that he's going to be bringing out here in the form of Masha and Molly. Faras clearly stating that he kind of wants to go turn 1 here. He's got the 24 speed lead, but True Whale not really showing anything to be taking turn 1, even though he has that 33 speed lead. Faras for one last pick here to wrap up his draft.
Yeah, great observation, Stoic. Yeah, he's got the 33 to keep up. Oh, a Daphnis is the sort of threat you love to see at the tail end of a draft like this. He could easily pick off anything as long as he doesn't glance because of the Molly.
Definitely. With that Daphnis, though, being drafted, I think that's stating Molly's going to get the ban out here, because if that Molly glances anything that Daphnis does, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. And it looks like Daphnis is going to get the ban, and the 33 speed lead, Oliver gets banned out here.
Was that bait? I think that might have been bait, Stoic.
Yeah, but I think in True Whale's position, he still bans out that Daphnis, knowing that potentially the Molly's going to get banned out here. But the 33 speed lead does get banned out. True Whale still has a working team, though. There's nothing wrong with it. Double the Spiers stuff coming out. Does stun up that Juno. Juno is still going to get a little bit of benefit off of it. No worries here. No stun will come up from that first skill. Looking for an attack break to spare stun. Not happening. Third skill. He's going to land as a reset, and the unit of focus is going to be that Molly to stop that second skill.
Nice increased cooldown time effects coming from Faras here. He's got a good control of the board state here. Let's see what he can do from here. He's got the window of opportunity open.
Yeah, Faras looking really good right now. Has to go with that second skill to push back more attack bar. Of course, he's going to get stunned up by the Volantis. Has second skill to go for a defense break on top of the Molly. Does receive it. Is that second skill enough to get the dismount? And it is with the additional turn as well.
Masha is already dismounted. Carnal absolutely wrecking True Whale's strategy at this point here. And look at all these provokes, man. His turns are not his own.
Yeah, it really is looking very good for Faras right now. With the defense break sitting on top of the Mall, this could be a potentially unit that he might try to focus out, but I do think he has to get rid of the Masha. It looks like he's going to change focus and start putting a little bit of damage into the Volantis as well. Provoke's going to be coming out from this Fire in Bison. Let's see what he chooses to try and provoke here. Does land on top of the Molly.
Love that provoke on the Molly, and also the combo of the 2-turn provoke. That is so
two-turn
cool.
provoke. Because of Nyx, which is crazy. So well done, Nyx, being really put to use here in this match. Of course, there's going to be a glancing with a glancing applied on Masha. Not a lot of damage coming towards this Fire in Bison. Faras looking very, very good. Nyx coming in handy, very handy right now with all these negative effects that Faras is able to apply.
And look at how hindered the Masha is. Molly can proc all she wants, and she's still going to only use her skill there. It is such a fun combo, and this is exactly why I like watching Faras play. He finds these really cool synergies on his comp and brings them for us in the tournament setting. That is so cool.
Yep, he really does. Psycho Crusher's coming out, drops 2 units here, able to drop the Juno. I think that's going to be it there. And Faras taking round 1 away from True Whale.
What a commanding victory from Faras, too. And like I said, man, the synergy is unreal, Stoic. I love seeing the Nyx combo with the Carnal, the Cigar. It is so fun, man. And no matter who got a turn, they either couldn't do what they wanted, or their damage was so hindered that it didn't really matter.
That's right. Very, very good draft from Faras. I'm expecting to see he's going to keep up with this, not so much this play style, but this synergy that he's bringing with his units right now. That is definitely not going to change from Faras. And we got Pontos, great ban. There's so much homework that Faras has right now on Truel. I do love this Pontos pick. That's a very good pick coming out of Faras. And of course, Fire and Bison is going to get the pre-ban on Faras.
Oh yeah, the Fire and Bison, you know, as much as Cigar also provokes, I think the Bison was the Fire Bison was definitely the one that took command and control over True Wheel's comp. There's that Oliver, who's no stranger to that first pick portion there, Stoic.
Yep, and then the Tian Lang's coming out. I think the Tian Lang's coming out because he's trying to disrupt this Oliver and potentially other units that Faras might be drafting here. True is going to be going with the Sekhmet to look to outspeed and get a reset here on Faras. Faras going to be bringing an additional speed lead, definitely saying Faras wants turn 1. Faras is going to be drafting more turn 1 units when he locks in double speed lead.
Yeah, I think we might see a different kind of strategy coming from Faras here, unless he's just drafting the speed to lead with that Nyx to increase cooldown times again. But Tian Lang makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go in with another Nyx team here. Looks like Masha's going to come in. Masha being a middle distance speed kind of unit here. Definitely not something that's super turn 1. And True Whale swaps everything. We're going to see a Molly and we're going to see a Water Hollyberry coming out.
Can Faras adapt, or does he just want to ban it? The Miles tells me that he's tempted to leave it in, although the Miles might soak the ban, leaving the Water Hollyberry to be Faras's. What do you think about that, Stoic?
I think he has to take this. I love the Miles and I love the Wusa draft. I think that's exactly what Faras needs here. This last pick could be, I mean, it is going to be Leo, and he's going to have to let the Leo, he has to ban out the Leo, 100%. Leo gets laid down here, and you're disrupting everybody that's going to be dealing additional damage by speed or damage based off of speed. And there are 4 units out here that need that Leo gone.
Yeah, at the very least, Faras gets to keep the Miles. So he isn't completely defenseless against what the Water Hollyberry is bringing. But let's see here. Faras, game point. True Whale has to put something on the board right now or his tournament run ends.
Yep, that is right. Let's see what happens here. This skill 2. I think Faras has to give a lot of attention to this Water Hollyberry. Does not want this unit popping off here, but he does have a little bit to worry about. Does outspeed, does get the stun on top of the Sekhmet, which is pretty big, so Sekhmet can't get a reset out here. A little bit of damage with the parry coming out on top of that more. We've got second skill getting full value with the stun, but the stun does not matter when Oliver's able to proc out of it.
Got the increased cooldown time on the Water Hollyberry, so she can't protect herself with that infinite immunity and defense buff. Molly's here to quickly heal up the team a little bit, but she doesn't have too much to do. It looks like True Whale has kind of burned all his skills, or they're on cooldown.
Yeah, exactly. So he may have used up all of his skills, but it's still definitely not the worst case right now. I think everything technically is fine when it comes to Faras. He does have that reset that did land on top of the Sekhmet. Defense break does land on top of the Miles. If True Whale's able to take advantage of this defense break, he needs to get a proc from that. Parry comes out, gets stunned up from it as well. I think Miles might get dropped here.
Oh yeah, that was a really unfortunate parry from the Water Hollyberry, because before, where he might have survived this, it's looking like his life is in danger. A stun on more.
Oh, and there's the first skill going into the miles. That's it. I mean, you're
That's
too far
game.
back now. You're too far back.
That
There's
is
no
game,
sustain
just
on
like
your
that.
field. And the only thing that happened here, True Whale never took a turn. It was just the parry coming out of this water holly berry, smoking 2 units with the parry, and that was it.
Just the unfortunate parry timing. That water holly berry is a straight up menace.
It really is. At 15% chance to have to parry like that and totally flip this match on its head. And just True Whale with commanding victory, with now finally getting a turn with the defense break landing on top of the Masha, finishing off that unit here. Absolutely insane.
You got to get that thing out of here. Faras has to pre-ban.
You gotta get that thing out of here. That's gonna
He's
be
got to
the
get that
pre-ban
thing
for
out of
next
there.
round.
I don't even want
The
to see it in
craziest
the next
thing
round.
is like the water holly berry, I think, has to be the pre-ban going into the round 2. And there you have it, True Whale getting a round 2 victory over Faras.
Yeah, that was a really tough game. I don't know about the Leo ban. I know Leo is so threatening for the hindering the speed scaling damage, but the water holly berry I think proved that she needed to be the one out of that draft.
Yes, it's one of those like yes and no moments. Like obviously hindsight's 2020 where you watch the match and Water Holly Berry popped off on you, but I mean it's only 15%, Evan. You roll the dice and you see what happens. And what ended up happening is he rolled,
Stoic.
he rolled doubles 3 times and,
I'm just saying I said in the pick ban phase, I was like, that Oliver is the only thing that can combat against that water holly berry. There was only one tool in the box that could compete against it. I think it needed to be out even without hindsight. But let's see. There's a chance now. Whoa, Nick's got a pre-ban? Hold up. I actually blinked and missed that.
Yeah, so Nick's got a pre-ban here, which I think is a very good pre-ban coming out of True Whale. Last time he pre-banned was Tian Lang, and Tian Lang is in a position where he technically could have drafted it here, but it looks like Volantis Juno are going to take priority over, potentially taking a Tian Lang away for Faras. I think Faras is going to lean into the Tian Lang because he knows the Oliver's on the other side of the field, but we'll see what happens as he does not choose to lean into the Tian Lang. He may not eat it after all, though.
Yeah, he may not. A Hey Gang making the first appearance in this whole tournament. I can't remember the last time I saw a Hey Gang. Actually, that's not true. We saw it in the Latin America tournament.
Yeah, Hey Gang. Oh yeah, we did see it in Latin America. You are very, very correct on that. Hey Gang usually being a focus unit when it comes to like units like Gianna, but ultimately anything that will strip and apply something like this, Volantis or even Juno here.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, what's going on? Say Shizo, saying hi to folks in the chat. Welcome to the chat, folks. Hope you guys are having a good time. Bans are out. Oliver's gone. Cigar is gone. Dang, I love seeing Cigar in action, Stoic. He's actually one of my most wanted units. I love things that put skills on cooldown.
Yeah, Cigar is a very good unit, and Faras is looking to get turn 1 here with that 24 speed lead coming out of him, guys. We have our round number 3, and I'll be honest with you, looking at these drafts, we have some good, clean Summoner's War ahead.
Yes, this is, look at this. No Oliver, no Water Hollyberry. This is the kind of Summoners War I like to see, Stoic.
Yep, strips are going to be landing. We do get a revenge coming out of this Juno, but that is definitely fair game here. Got second skill, looking for some strips there. Does not strip the Hey Gang. Second skill is going to be coming out with this Water Robo, getting a full team strip here. The bit of attack bar reduction, of course. Third skill is coming out with the stuns, and the stuns do so far land true. And of course, gets resisted on the probably not max resistance Ragdoll.
Oh, absolutely, obviously. When Robo fed the Hey Gang just a little bit, or excuse me, I misspoke there. Fed the Ragdoll a little bit there with the attack bar, but still wasn't enough to keep up. Can we see what Hey Gang has to offer? I'm not always a huge fan of Hey Gang. I find that he doesn't offer too much beyond that turn 1. We'll see if he can prove me wrong in this game. I'd like it if he could.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think True Whale needed to see a Despair Stun on top of that Water Robo. Water Robo, we know this is built on... oh my god! We know it's built on Violent! And there's a second skill. We could see a dead Riley here, and that's going to be pretty devastating for True Whale if this Riley does drop. And it should be dropping here because he's got 3 units that are going to be moving from this Riley before any sustain's going to be coming out here. And of course, more is going to be the unit to get rid of that. And we've got Despair Stun potentially going out here, and that may move Ragdoll into a Torrent range, and I don't think Faras is going to be triggering that.
Oh, so close, but not quite. He might be getting into it, but if Clutch Provoke would deny, not exactly.
Yeah, no stun's going to be coming out from Volantis. Volantis really getting no value whatsoever. The attack break does land, and no Despair stun's going to be coming out here. If he goes to the third skill, he may die if he hits this Ragdoll because of the Reflect here. And he does not die to the Reflect. Wow, buff Ragdoll. We'll see what happens with this Hey Gang here.
Give him more Reflect damage. Give him 30% reflect. Let's not be afraid.
Yep, beautiful second skill into the Juno. Faras has to drop this Juno before it is too late. He could actually go with the third skill right now and drop all 3 units. Does get the kill, and Faras taking down True Whale and locking in his spot in the summit.
Faras going absolutely crazy on the summit climb right now, man. What a great showing against True Whale of all people. Truly showing his adaptability. Wow, excellent.
Yeah, well done. And that truly showed in that very first match. I really love the it was the Knicks with both of the Fire and Bison and Cigar, not Wind and Bison, but the Cigar as well. And it was an excellent combination, getting all those 2-turn provokes there. He was very, very oppressive and was just holding True Whale back from doing anything there. And then, of course, True Whale taking that round 2. It was a very good match for True Whale when it came to Water Holly. The Water Holly Berry probably should have seen a little bit of action when it went into this next round, because in that third match, it was too commanding. There was a lot happening for Faras and just kept everything back from True Whale. True Whale was not able to get any ball rolling there. We saw our Volantis not popping off. We saw our Juno not popping off. There was a lot of things just not happening for True Whale. But you know what? Faras earned that victory with some good, clean, honest summoning floor.
Oh, he definitely did. And you called it. The Water Hollyberry may have had a place in that last round if True Whale really wanted to force something, but he's right that Faras coming right out of that game, he was probably more ready to encounter it in the pick ban phase and probably would have had an easier time drafting against it. The thing is, it's just one of those units that just like sits there and accrues value. Like you said, I think you made a great call in that game that we had. It's like True Whale hadn't really taken a turn yet. The Water Hollyberry just had the right opportunity to get that snipe on the miles and gave us the hindsight we needed to say, yeah, that probably should have been banned. He had the chance to bring it in the third, but Faras really cleaned it up with that good, clean Summoners War gameplay and just showing his adaptability and his great strategy.
Yep, it was a great showcase of that Wind Robo. That Wind Robo was just so oppressive, especially being put on Violent. That second skill is popping off, full team strip, attack bar reduction into a third skill with all that stuns. Wind Robo really stole the show in that third match.
Yeah, it's funny the impact that we've seen by units such as Josephine in the meta, prompting people to put their mores on shifting from Despair over to Violent. The same is true with the Wind Robo as well. And the Wind Robo still has such an impact. Like, he does not need to be on Despair at all, considering that he can cycle into his third skill and stun up everybody anyway with better than a 25% chance.
That is right. I mean, we have our next match though, guys, with Faras locking in his spot here. We've got Madreamd and we've got Mr. Shah here.
Madreamd, no stranger to the tournament scene. He was in SWC just last year. We saw him at the America's Cup, and he has had a great showing in the past. So we'll see if Mr. Shah can keep up this unanticipated climb up the summit, even in the face of a Titan like Madreamd.
Yep, Madreamd, someone known for extreme rune quality. I'm not even going to use the word good or great. It's freaking extreme, I am telling you. We've seen some of these units from him. Every time he attends one of the events, he's always got something to show, whether it's a new rune or he changed something up on a unit. And these are like absolutely ballistic units coming from Madreamd. So Mr. Shah's definitely in for it. We'll see if Mr. Shah's got something up his sleeve going up against Madreamd.
Mr. Shah's already trying not to get Cloven here, pre-banning the Onguyuki this early. Again, we see the research paying off from these folks.
Yep, those pre-bans locked in. It looks like it was a Ragdoll and a Dark Oni Musha. Madreamd with the first pick being that more. And then also Mr. Shah locking in that Oliver. We've seen Oliver as a first pick just about, it feels like, every single match.
Yeah, every single match, and even though it wasn't in the absolute first pick spot for Madreamd, I would still count this as first picking because, I mean, it's his first pick for Mr. Shah. So I think Oliver has definitely been the MVP when it comes to the pick ban phase because he has not missed a draft yet.
Yeah, interesting choice there to go with the Water Oracle Praha, though, for Mr. Shah, locking that in alongside the Oliver. We're going to see Madreamd locking in Ethna. We know that unit to being very, very fast. And of course, Juno's going to be making her appearance once again as well. Shizuka and Miles coming to the floor here. Very interesting.
It's a lot of water.
It's a
lot of water, huh, Stoic?
That's a lot of water indeed. I mean, that's a great response coming out of Madreamd when you're bringing a Wind Robo and of course a Chung Pung as well.
Yeah, I like the Masha as the answer here, but that is Mr. Shah's kind of deep into the splash zone, as it were, the pick ban phase, like up against all this wind.
Yeah, Madreamd definitely in a position of banning out that Masha. Masha's going to be bringing a lot of value to the field. Even though he has that water Ryu, I think you still ban out that Masha. We know that units are being way dialed.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Masha has to be the ban, and Mr. Shah's been signaling that Etna ban for like 20 years.
Definitely. So that Etna getting banned out here. 33 speed lead for Mr. Shah. 24 speed lead, though, for Madreamd. Let's see who kicks things off here as we get into our first match with Madreamd and Mr. Shah. It looks like Mr. Shah taking first turn with the Miles.
Oh, no stun, but heavy damage instead, managing to chip away like 80% of that Wind Robot's health bar.
Yep, that's a lot of damage right there. Of course, no stun's going to be landing. There's that beautiful skill, too. Just as we talked before, pushing back so much attack bar. And we've seen this third skill pop off, looking for stuns on absolutely everybody. And so far, 3 for 3, looking for a 4 for 4. Does get the 4 for 4 stun with the Wind Robo.
They land true. He found the 4, and here comes Chung Pung. This draft, Madreamd really picked well into this. I love the Chung Pung at the end. He saw the opportunity for a control center draft, and he took it. I don't know if that was his intention going in, but once you see all that water into the Etna and the Wind Robo, you know the time is now.
Absolutely. Madreamd with a walk in the pack right now, getting glancing on the field. He's able to reset all of these units. He just needs to drop the Pra to stop the sustain. Looking for absolutely anything. He's got second skill for the attack bar reduction. So much additional damage. Finally drops the Praha, and that is it. What a commanding first round for Madreamd.
So methodical, and we saw this win foreshadowed all the way from the second and third picks of the pick ban phase. I think Madreamd did an excellent pivot. Like I said, I don't know if it was his plan to kind of veer into the side of a control comp, but he really saw the opportunity and just went for it. I think that was great drafting by Madreamd.
That feels like one of the cleanest matches we have seen yet. Madreamd showing why he deserves to be in the spot that he was in, having a bye. Very, very clear that he deserves that spot because that was such a clean match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Double ban on the Moor/Water Ryu. Really shows the impact this unit is having in RTA right now.
Yeah, for those who don't know, those are the same unit.
Yes, functional equivalents those are.
Yep. Oliver, once again, going to be the first pick. Mr. Shah locking that unit in. He had it last time, and he's got it this time as well. Madreamd potentially going to be bringing something similar, but he has that Dark Onimusha now.
Yeah, the Dark Onimusha is a really good thing to bring early from Madreamd because, like you pointed out, he pre-banned the Ragdoll earlier. So the Ragdoll being pre-banned means that Ongyuki is an awesome answer to what he knows Mr. Shah has in the tank.
Definitely. I like this this pick right here with the Masha. I like locking it in this area and then not so much towards the end of a draft here, but I do like the Masha. He's got one more pick here, definitely taking his time here going up against a player like Madreamd. He locks in the Praha once again. Now we're going to see the direction Madreamd is going to be taking because last time he took a very turn one in a very like a commanding draft. Let's see what happens here now that he has this Dark Onimusha.
So he takes the Miles. He's got a nice elemental diversity here, bringing Nana to just bring a little bit more support sustain rather for the team, making it a little bit harder for him to remove his board state. Let's see how Mr. Shah responds after learning from the whole water draft from last time.
Yeah, let's see what happens. This is a very interesting draft from Madreamd. Clearly, he's bringing a turn to Bruiser-esque style team, especially in the form of Nana, Juno. Miles as well, even though how Miles can be built extremely fast. Whoa, no way! Are we gonna see a Dark Cassandra? Cassandra, yes. Wow.
Up against a Narsha.
These are Mr. Shah locks in Narsha too.
These are really surprising picks coming out from these two. This shows a lot of versatility for both players. I like seeing how Madreamd pivots to a turn two. Well, he's not sure. And you know what? I kind of agree with not only because even if he's confident, there hasn't been a lot of time to get mileage on those new units yet. So you may want to hold him back and not play it out in a tournament setting.
Yeah, I mean, he's up one game. I would have loved to see the Dark Cassandra come out there, and it's just not going to happen. That's okay, though. We get a Shizuku. There's the Nasha and the Ethna locked in here. Bans are out. It looks like Nana's going to get the ban. And, of course, Oliver eliminating that 33 speed lead on the side of Mr. Shah's team here. Let's get the leader skills locked in. HP leader skill from Madreamd. Resistance lead coming out here for Mr. Shah. Let's get into round number 2.
Madreamd, if he cleans this up, he's moving ahead. Let's see what happens. Etna taking turn 1. She has an opportunity to defense break everything and cycle back through to skill 3.
Yeah, the only defense break's going to be landing on top of that Miles, though. One despair stun's going to be coming out on top of that Nasha. Does have third skill available. This could towards the Shizuka or that Dark Onimusha. Might go towards the Dark Onimusha to calm that damage down there. And it looks like he's going to choose to go for the Miles. Miles in very good territory right now. Gets the double crit with fire onto water. That's crazy.
Incredible. I thought that despair stun on the Narsha rather was going to hinder his ability to take out the Miles early, but instead Masha clutches it up. And let's see here. So this is great that the Ongyuki has some immunity on top of him right now, because you don't want to accidentally crowd control him and give him more attack power when he wakes up. It's going to be we've still got a game, but Mr. Shah is definitely in a good spot.
Yeah, most definitely. It looks like Madreamd is trying to get rid of the sustain. Wow.
Oh,
that
changed pretty drastically, Stoic.
That's insane damage, dude.
So that's why it was pre-banned.
Demolishing Masha's team here, taking round 2. That was insane, man.
That was wild, dude. No wonder Ongyuki was pre-banned in round 1. That speaks volumes. And that wasn't even woken up. That wasn't even with the bonus damage. That was just raw Ongyuki damage.
It's so crazy the amount of damage that unit can throw out onto that field there. What a victory from Madreamd. That's our second 2-0 we have seen tonight, and where it was is absolutely crazy. That's so insane that he was able to do that, able to get a victory just like that. Well done, Madreamd, on cleaning up his opponent like that.
Whale Skull's right. He's in a good spot immediately right after. What's the inverse of the caster's curse? Sorry. What's the inverse of that? Is it a prophecy? What is that?
I guess. Yeah. That's
a blessing.
So crazy.
Yeah,
I was not expecting to see that at all.
Neither was I, man. That was awesome. That was so crazy.
I knew it was going to be a lot of damage. I think everybody knew it was going to be a lot of damage. But to clean up the field and just like, it took a turn, man. It took a turn, and it was devastating.
Man, and he had worked so hard to make sure that he had a position where he was ahead. And Ongyuki just decided to win the game. That was amazing. Yep. Yeah, really well done from Madreamd. And I feel like you foreshadowed this really well, Stoic, when you were saying that like Madreamd's runes are not good, they're not great, they're exceptional.
Yeah. It's I can't even imagine. I know I've seen it before, but I would love to see it again just to confirm what I just saw, because probably when I saw it, I just didn't believe, and it was like some Photoshop screenshot he sent me. But I'm sure it's insane. Yeah,
this is AI generated. They just put numbers everywhere. It's like it's putting random things. All right, guys.
Oh my god.
So as if that wasn't exciting enough, we've got probably Stoic's most anticipated game: Rygecki versus Apps.
Yep, this is a lot of people's most anticipated game. Everybody wants to see America's Cup champion of last year, Rygecki, play, and I think a lot of people in support want to see Apps, and Apps getting the very first 2-0 of the day. Like this is our best up and coming from our previous matches with Apps. So let's see what Apps has in store. Is he going for Rygecki? Because I know Rygecki is very familiar with Apps' draft, and what Apps brought to the table is something that he streams with a lot. So I'm sure that's going to show in this match right here. So pre-ban's getting locked in right now, and it is going to be an Oliver, and Apps banning out the Sekhmet. This is something that Rygecki leans on a lot.
Yeah, see the one downside of streaming your RTA games, it's like you're really putting the research out there for people. So we'll see if Apps has what it takes to pull through. And we know that Rygecki is going to be familiar with whatever he's bringing. Shizuka in the first pick slot. Whoa, Stoic, what's going on? These are not first picks we've been seeing today.
Well, for Apps, this is first picks that we've seen from him. We've seen the Wool Young, we've seen the Maximilian. What I don't like is Rygecki's already prepared for this. He knows this draft, he's confirmed. Rygecki knows what he's going to be playing here. So we'll see what happens. Ciara and Juno going to be coming out here for Rygecki. And I mean, again, Apps bringing out the Wind Robo, the Chung Pung coming out for Apps. Rygecki looking to respond. We're going to see an Abelio. And one more pick coming out of Rygecki. He has some options here. Let's see what he brings.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he wants to end up locking in. The Abellio. I love the Abellio because it cuts in. The only thing, there's a chance that he's going to be reset. What?
That's a Freya. That is a Freya. But we also see an Isis being drafted by Apps. And I do believe Freya's third skill is a passive. If people die,
it is.
That
if
they all get healed up.
Cuts in turns. You're right.
Yes, and it is going to get banned out here. Isis is going to get the ban as well. Speed leads for both players, but Apps the 28 speed lead. Let's see what happens as we get into our very first match with Rygecki and Apps.
What a crazy last pick, and it got respect banned. You had to ban it too. That's the thing. That's the beauty. We're getting the stuns. We're going all the way downtown with 4 stuns from the Wind Robo.
Yep, gets the stuns, gets the serious matter going off here as well. Apps with his bread and butter happening right now, gets all this damage. Was not able to drop anything just yet. Needs to get a stun here with this Abellio to try to clap back, because the second skill is going to be devastating. Absolutely.
And there was the fear.
Everything here.
There was the fear with the Abellio. He was going to have his cooldown time increased by that Chung Pung, so he had nothing to use.
Yeah, 100% here. This is going to be the attack power reduction, the additional damage, and this is going to be it for this Juno here. And Apps taking a round 1 over previous America's Cup champion, Rygecki.
Apps has been ready for this moment. You can tell he's been dreaming of this day, and he's ready to make his mark on the America's Summit debut. Crazy games from him right now, and to take down a previous America's Cup champion like Rygecki, that is a super tall order and almost impossible for most folks.
Yeah, Apps has played Ricky plenty of times here, so I'm sure Apps was ready and he was prepared for what Ricky had. Banning out that segment, I think, was pretty impactful. Apps does have first pick, though. Let's see what he's going to be drafting here in this second match.
Dude, Ace is crazy. Apps just keeps... He's going to keep cleaving. You can't... Wow. Oh, my God. You can't take...
Well, you can't stop the
man.
cleave, but segment might be that unit. I think Apps might have his mind made up and banning out that segment already. We're going to see that water puppeteer coming out here with speed lead in the form of Ciara on Rygecki's side of the field. Is he going to be bringing an additional speed lead? And so is Apps.
Yeah, all these previous, like, America's Cup representatives are kind of dropping off like flies. We got that observation from chat moments ago. This is crazy. Rygecki with a couple nice counters here. I love the Antares to try to cut in and disrupt the strategy from inside.
Wow. I mean, Rygecki change of pace here, goes with an Antares and, of course, a Leo. Apps showing the Dak Robo and, of course, the Asima as well. That's a lot of volatility on the side of Apps. I'm very curious how fast this Asima is. We all know how fast that Ethna is going to be. And you know what? I think the ban... Oof, if that Abellio made it through, it's potentially the ban. It's either whatever this last pick is and the segment. We'll see what happens, what Apps is going to be banning out here. And you know what? It's going to be the segment. It's the segment.
It had to be. You're right. Because that's the guaranteed disruption, right? So I think Apps is vying for instead the chance to disrupt from the Antares. Can Apps do it? Can he get his second 2-0 of the tournament? We're going to find out right now.
Yep, here we go. We're going to see a little bit of a torrent, looking for some big damage, no attack bar reduction on top of that Ethna. We're going to see that second skill could go on to another unit here, or he might just go for the third skill, potentially. Does go with the third skill, gets that freeze, and that's his freeze reset on top of the Leo here.
Goes for the capture. Stun successful. Here comes the third skill from the Maximilian for potentially huge damage. Not as big of a payoff as we're used to seeing.
No, but the Asima's got the payoff right here. Look at that full attack bar. Needs the despair stun on top of the Asima. Does he get it? He doesn't get anything. A little bit of value, but the additional turn's going to be coming out here. He can place a bomb on the Asima. No! Tried to place the bomb on top of the Maximilian. Does not get the bomb. I think he has to go for the detonate. Does go for the detonate for a little bit of damage, finishing off that Ethna as well. Second skill is going to be enough here with the gouge coming out, dropping 2 units. Apps with bringing so much volatility in the form of Hell Ladies and Maximilian.
Apps cleaving his way through this bracket. Say Shizo said it so well in chat. Apps is playing like he's got to be home for dinner. He's got somewhere to be, man. He doesn't have time for the mid game. He doesn't even know what water hollyberry is.
Absolutely crazy to see a match like that. Apps taking down last year's America's Cup champion. Well done.
Apps has been such a wonderful surprise in this tournament. I knew that we were going to have fun watching him play today in his first tournament setting, but man, I did not expect it to make such a huge impact. And to do it so quick, he's cleaving everybody.
These I love this man. Thank you so much for the cleaves. We love to see it. Nothing I love more than fast matches to you know what? I appreciate it. I won't go any further than that. I appreciate it.
It's such a stark difference to what we're used to seeing in the meta currently. Like the meta is so like mid-game oriented. It's about those units that have, you know, strong passives. They accrue value over time. Apps is like, I want value right now. Like, what are you talking about later? I want it right the heck now.
And it's working. It's working. He's got 2-2-0. That is crazy to see this man just thrust his way through today's summit, and he's making his way onto Sunday. We've got a lot of people confirming those victories for Sunday. We've got Faras confirmed, we've got Madreamd confirmed, we've got apps, and we've got one more match coming up shortly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we're going to find out shortly between Thompson and Zex, who is going to be the last person to finally go to the grand finals. And again, if you weren't here at the top of the show, I want to remind you, today is round 1 and round 2. So this is going to be our final match from the main bracket. On Sunday, we're going to be doing the grand finals of the Americas Summit North American sector. So be sure you be here, because that's where the heat is going to be. As if today, I'm saying that as if today hasn't been incredible, Stoic. This has been like the coolest tournament ever.
It's been great showing. It really has been. You know, I was a little bit nervous that we were going to see, you know, we've seen enough Molly and Water Cookie, but very, very surprised here in the North America. Just, we've seen the Molly and we've seen the Water Cookie. We've seen some success here, but a lot of the turn 1 play has been showing and proving to still be very relevant and very, very strong in today's meta.
Yeah, and we've seen cleaves. We've seen a bomb comp go off. Like, we've seen some really fun stuff today, as well as seeing a drop, like an isolated example of what the meta is today. We're also seeing people who are bold enough to kind of go around and do some exploration and bring something that is strange and high damage and high impact. So I'm really happy with what we've gotten today. Now, Thompson and Zex is another highly anticipated matchup. Thompson, very beloved player, has an America's Cup Championship title under his belt, as well as made it to an SWC finals in the past. Meanwhile, Zex, brand new to the scene and making his way all the way here to fight him.
Yep, that's right. If Zex takes down Thompson, not only is it a big upset, but it's so crazy to see the players that have moved forward. You know, watching True Whale, Rygecki fall, Madreamd locking in his spot here. But if Thompson does go down here, it's so crazy to see that lower half of the bracket with such a great success. It makes for a crazy summit. But let's see what happens, guys, because we're just about to get into it with pre-bans getting locked in right now with our first match between Zex and Thompson.
Nice choices, Volantis and Ragdoll getting banned out. It must be really hard to pick what you want to ban in the pre-ban phase up against Thompson, Stoic, because, you know, speaking of deep boxes, this man seems like he's got everything.
That's right, he really does. You know, Thompson has a lot of units in his arsenal. You know, he's pretty much up there with True Whale as well, having a lot of options here. And we're going to see some turn 1 play coming out of Thompson as well. Zex trying to compete for turn 1, and that's exactly what that Escher says. Escher says, I want turn 1.
And more often than not, I'm going to get it too. With super high base speed, he really puts your Swift runes to good use. Let's see what Zex wants to follow up with that. Huh. Interesting. Could be triple revenge considering what's on the table, but like picked alongside Escher makes me want to say Swift. What do you think, Stone?
Yeah, it could be. I believe it would be a Swift Verd heal as well. We'll see what happens. See if Thompson can potentially exploit a Swift Verd or just bring something to clearly outspeed and demand that turn 1. We'll see what happens. Thompson definitely taking his time, and Thompson is known for taking his time.
Ooh, and pivots to something that is more, you know, a little time-takey in a sense with the Pontos as well as the Water Puppet Master. The Clara looking like it might want to wrap up Zex's draft here. This is a control comp that I've seen come out a little into the limelight after the most recent balance patch stuff.
Yep, it is. It's a very, very fast unit as well. You know, used to strip and stun his opponent. We'll see what happens here because bans are going to get locked in here. Is the Clara potentially banned or is the Swift Verd potentially banned? I mean, there's options here. Oh wait, does he just? I don't know. There's definitely
it's tough. Man, and look at how many speed leads there are on Thompson's side, by the way, between the Broncos and everything. I did not expect the Water Puppet Master, to be honest. I thought that maybe one of the threats, immediate threats like Han would soak up a ban there.
Yep. Well, let's see what happens. We get into our very first match between Zex and Thompson. Someone looking to get their victory early. Let's find out who it's going to be. Second skill is going to be coming out for the Escher. We've got that third skill popping out here, getting 2 stuns. Only 2 stuns.
Only 2, but he's pulling ahead. Zex now has full game here. Let's see. A proc from Pontos could save Thompson's strategy.
Definitely could save him indeed. But that third skill does get resisted, though, on top of the Escher. He can't even get any poke damage with the invincibility being up here. Thompson looking to try and take a unit away. He's got that third skill available with the second skill potentially going to be killing here. Goes right onto that Moore here with the defense break sitting on top and no attack break can happen here. Does get second skill. He's able to strip everything off top of the Han here. Does he need the stuns? Does get the stuns off of the flower, and of course that Birdie Hill as well. Second skill's going to be popping out. You see if it's built on Despair, and I believe it is built on Despair. We see that stun landing on top of the Escher, trying to drop that more. Does get the stun here.
Wow, somehow Thompson's still been able to make use of the Han, even though he cycles through and got the invincibility stripped off him a little bit early. Dark Robo trying to poke a little bit more damage onto Clara. This Han has outlived, I think, everyone's expectations.
It really has, and honestly, it was thanks to that violent proc with the Pontos. Pontos able to throw, cleanse and throw up the invincibility and immunity as well, which was really a big saving grace here for Thompson. And then Han just bringing crazy volatility, dropping the 1 unit that was probably going to be saving Zex, which was going to be that more. And there you have it, guys. Commanding first round victory from Thompson.
Oh yeah, that's why you put Pontos on Violent, man. The same reason why you put Veladjul on Violent, the same reason you put Riley on Violent. You want those situations where you can kind of proc in and get that third skill when they least expect it.
Yeah, definitely a sigh of relief for Thompson. Thompson takes all of his matches very, very serious. And when that match was going the way it was at the beginning of it, Thompson definitely someone to be sweating a little bit. But sigh of relief, he takes that first round from Zex. We got our pre-bans from last time. We've got the Volantis available, the Ragdoll available, new pre-bans getting locked in. Pontos is going to get the ban this time, and the Oliver is going to get pre-banned as well.
Thompson's got to be real happy having that breathing room. Now he's put Zex in the position where he does not have that luxury. Breathing a little heavier here. This could potentially be the last game of the bracket today, but no matter what happens here, don't leave, because we may, if time allows, we may have a 2v2 ahead of us at the end of the tournament. We'll see.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think Apps is definitely someone to help us with getting those 2v2 matches in there with as quick as he was cleaving these matches throughout the day. Appreciate that, Apps. But again, we're here with Thompson next with the first pick. Tomo, Thompson, looking to draft 2 picks. And as we know, Thompson, I've said it before, this man takes his time with everything he does.
Oh yeah, you'll see him use all that time. He wants to think out everything possible. Gets in the tank, sometimes overthinks, but he needs to have the confidence to know that he can take this if he puts the work in. Let's see, Josephine and Juno. We've actually brought up Josephine a couple times today, but she hasn't made it into a draft thus far, Stoic.
Yeah, take a look at this change of pace here. I mean, clearly the Josephine's going to be pretty good, especially when we're talking about a Tomo and a Volantis here. I think Josephine's definitely a strong pick. It looks like the double Oblivion, something to worry about. I want to see a little bit more cleanse coming out of Thompson. Like Annabelle, I think Annabelle would be a phenomenal pick to drop onto the field right now. But, you know, that's just me, and that's here nor there. I play differently, and I'm not playing so... Oh my god!
Oh
yeah,
my
I'm brilliant!
god! Stoic.
The Annabelle is just so good, it gets banned out
It's
here.
so good it gets banned. It's so good it soaks the ban too, Stoic. What a great call. Oh, hey, Apps is in chat. What's going on, Apps? Awesome games, dude.
Yep, Hearn's going to get the ban. Annabelle's going to get the ban as well. Leader skills are getting picked. Probably going to be an accuracy lead. No, I'm sorry, a resistance lead coming out of Thompson. Interesting to go with the resistance lead. And a speed lead coming out here for Zex.
Big believer in resistance, Thompson. It's, you know, Res wins games, guys. I'm in the minority saying that, but, you know, I love resistance.
Yep, no
Let's
Will's
go.
going to
Volantis with the turn.
Thompson here. That's no surprise at all. Of course, Stun's going to be coming out here. And we got Josephine's going to be taking some turns. I think he has to try and control... Oh, he's going to try and control that Tomoe, though.
The sheer amount of stuns that are coming out from Zex's side right now seem to be astronomical. Like, this guy's got control that is off the chart, Stoic.
Yeah, most definitely. And you're going to see a lot of that, especially when you have a Shizuka and a Tomo on the field as well. That's definitely going to be more stunts to come. A lot of sustain popping out there. Healing up Thompson's team, still keeping them alive. These shields are holding up very, very well. We're going to see the Kama not land on top of the Tomo. And of course, the additional turns are going to be popping out. Do we see a defense break? No defense break either.
I love seeing the Tessarion actually make it into a game. How weird is it, Stoic, to see a Juno cycle through a turn and still have debuffs up?
It is. It's very, very weird to see that, and you're going to see a lot more of it, especially with Oblivion being applied here. This Juno looks like it's going to be dropping. I think the Abelio is going to be the one to finish. It looks like the Abelio is not going to be the one to finish it off. I think it is going to be the Dots that finish off the Juno here.
Oh my word. Zex is saying Thompson is not sweating quite enough. He's closing the window. He wants him to sweat. He wants him to take these games a little more seriously. Breathing room is gone.
Yep, and Thompson's probably not going to quit out of this match. He's definitely going to be thinking of his match ahead. Like I said, Thompson always waits to the last minute. He wants to get as much time as possible so he can start thinking about what he has to do next year. Zex with an excellent draft here. Even though there was a lot of turn 2, a lot of built-to-receive kind of style units here that Thompson brought to the field. Zex, very, very strong control team. The Oblivion played a massive part here, against Thompson's team.
Yeah, Oblivion was definitely the MVP debuff, and especially the fact that Tomoe could spread it to everybody was so cool. And he eliminated the Juno early. Juno really proved to be, she was going to be the thorn in his side at the end of the game, so eliminating it right away was key.
Yep, most definitely. Zex taking round 2 away from Thompson. We have our last match happening right now. Both players with victory under their belt. We have our pre-bans from last time. Oliver and Pontos with the pre-bans. They are now available. We've got 2 new pre-bans coming out here, and I do think it may be in favor of Thompson going into this next round here. And the only reason I say that is Thompson went from turn 1, changed to turn 2, and I do think Thompson's going to bounce back to a turn 1 playstyle, and it may work in his favor. He got to see how Zex played in his first match, and in this match here, I think he's going to ban out something that he doesn't want to have to play against, and it is going to be the Volantis. Ragdoll gets pre-banned by Zex, but Thompson with the first pick.
And Thompson also has access to that Pontos again. This is the deciding game, folks who are watching in chat right now. This is the one that tells us who's coming on Sunday. Is it going to be Thompson or the newcomer Zex?
See what happens. Zex got 2 picks here to start off his draft, and it is going to be a more in Chung Pung. We know this draft, we've seen this draft, and Thompson should be prepared for this draft. We're going to see that Water Puppeteer coming out once again with the Dark Robo as well. Escher, we're seeing a little bit of that first match coming in here as his third match here. Escher getting not locked in, but Escher's out here. He's got one more pick here, and it is the Tomo. Tomo making an appearance once again for a double speed lead for Zex.
The one thing that I do like about Zex's draft now, as opposed to round 1, is the Chung Pung edition, because he kind of had the burnout early. Ooh, is Veramos is a great pick up against the Nefties and the Dots from the Dark Robo, and there's not as much attack bar reduction. Actually, he's got to ban out the Oliver, because the Oliver could definitely deny the Veramos and turn to Blitz.
Yeah, 100%. I think the Oliver does get banned out. Oliver does get banned out. It is very quick bans, and the Veramos is going to get banned out as well. 24 speed lead for both players. The fastest unit on this field, I believe, is the Escher. Let's see what happens, guys. We get into round number 3 with Zex and Thompson.
This could accidentally be a repeat of round 1. We saw Zex accidentally lose all of the gas and his skills later down the line. Let's see if the Chung Pung is enough to make up for it. Here comes the Mega Tsunami from the Triton to push back attack bars.
Full value.
Ooh, everything.
Yep, and here's that third skill. He gets to reset one of these units and freeze everybody. Doesn't get everybody froze here. Does get that reset to land, I do believe. We're going to see that third skill popping off here, and this Dark Robo is going to be a menace right here.
Not a huge payoff, not as big of a payoff as you like to see, but at least the Nefty is following closely behind to apply defense break and silence.
Yeah, well, the silence is landing on everybody, and of course that second skill coming out of the Triton lands on everybody as well. A lot of value sitting on the field of Thompson. He's got that second skill available right here. Second skill available, looking very good for Thompson right now. He's trying to finish off all of these units. He drops that Moore. Moore's going to be going down here. We have no skills available with 2 turn silence sitting on top of this Tomo. Tomo needs a stun. Gets that stun on top of the Robo. A little bit of healing coming out there, boosting up the attack bar with that second skill. A little bit of damage coming towards Chung Pung. Chung Pung can't do anything. The heal block is still sitting on top of... he doesn't have skills available anyways here. Looking for a little bit more poke damage, and Thompson looking very, very comfortable right now.
The time between taking the turns from Zex is so telling. The gravity of the situation is setting in. It looks like Thompson is coming in hot to take that last spot for Sunday.
Yeah, 100% here. He's got skills available, and that's it. I think once he starts pushing back this attack bar, the writing is on the wall. There's that third skill is going to be dropping in right here, and well done, Thompson. Taking down Zex, claiming his spot for Sunday in today's America's Summit.
Excellent showing from Thompson. That was such an incredible control game. That's exactly the kind of game that Thompson loves to play. And with that, we have the 4 players that are going to be playing in the grand finals on Sunday. Same time, same place, everybody, for the grand finals of the Americas Summit North American sector. What a great set and a great showing from Zex, who's new to the tournament scene, Stoic.
It really was a great showing for Zex. He played a fantastic first matchup against Big V. Taking down Big V is massive, and so that definitely made a stamp, and I think Zex made his stamp here. Maybe we'll see him in SWC America's Cup this year, so who knows? This may not be the end of Zex, because Zex definitely made a great showing, even taking a game from Thompson himself.
Yes, it was a super great time watching him play, and there's tons more opportunities to see Zex if he pushes for Legend. Maybe we'll see him in a Legend tournament later down the line. This is the journey that we found ourselves going through in today's tournament. We just watched round 2 of the tournament, and now we've got the semifinals lined up for Sunday. For us is in that first match along with Apps, Madreamd, and Thompson. Now, looking back, I think Apps' games ended up actually being my favorite to watch here, Stoic.
Oh, they really were. I always appreciate a great cleave and some great play. Apps just being such a fantastic character as well. Just phenomenal matches coming out of him, taking down last year's America's Cup champion. Big day for Apps here. I look forward to watching him and Faras go at it. Those are 2 very good friends to have to watch them. 2 Twitch streamers, might I add, as well, having to go head-to-head here. You know, that's anyone's game, man. Both these players going to be preparing for each other very carefully.
Oh yeah, they're going to be preparing. I don't know, maybe they're even in a place where they could do some friendlies. I don't know if they're going to be that friendly with each other, but that'd be real fun. Hey man, let's prep for the tournament. Let's fight each other. Let's throw down a little bit. That sounds great.
And of course,
it was a great tournament
can't forget
today,
about Madreamd and Thompson for Sunday as well. Like, that's going to be a very good match, and those 2 are very familiar with each other. You know, because they've also played one in SWC as well.
Oh yeah, some high caliber matches are awaiting us on Sunday, guys. This is going to be great. So now, guys, I foreshadowed this in the last game. That was only our last game of the bracket. We still have a 2 versus 2 game coming up ahead of us. And now that's going to be a show match and a little bit of a surprise. I heard tell that Thompson might be involved as well with Pat. Why? Because I'm a G. This should be really fun. We did this in the Latin American sector last weekend as well, where we had Managua and Sloth up against Mesa and some of the Spanish casters and everything. We did one on both of the days. And this is going to be no different, guys. So if you're looking forward to some more RTA and some 2v2 is something we don't always get to see in these tournament settings, Stoic, so it should be fun.
Yep, that's right. We want to see as much 2v2 as possible. So if that's what it takes to get more 2v2 out there and, you know, out there on the show, like this is what it is. So hopefully we get to see a lot more 2v2 down the road and just look forward and have some fun with 2v2 matches that we get to showcase today.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. What a great way to wrap up an awesome tournament. I think this is probably one of my favorite tournaments in recent memory. Like, I can't remember one off the top of my head that I liked more than this. It was so stacked. You have the top of the RTA game here, the players that are at the absolute peak, at the summit, as it were. And look at this. Again, this is what they're all playing for. And who gets these cash prizes is going to be decided on Sunday. Again, I repeat, on Sunday. So if you're here today, come back Sunday, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Pacific time, or whenever you showed up on either YouTube or Twitch. We'll be live on both. $800 for first place is on the line, $450 and $200 behind them. There's a lot at stake here, along with the title of the first America's Summit winner, Star.
Yep, that's right. That's very exciting to have these players here competing to gain that title of first champion of the America's Summit.
Yeah, guys, and you see that Twitter handle on the screen. If you want to stay up to date with all of the Summoner Sport Esports news, make sure you follow that on Twitter, at SWC Esports. And I saw some folks in chat earlier asking how they can watch VODs from previous tournament formats. If you're interested in watching Legend tournaments, you can find your way over to Summoner Sport app on YouTube. If you're looking for previous SWCs, then you'll want to follow Summoner Sport Esports on YouTube. I mean, if you're in the neighborhood, you might as well follow both. Here we go, guys, 2 versus 2. Pat and Thompson versus Carioquinha and Jeff. Jeffy, bowl it down. Let's go.
Yep, this is a very exciting match that we have here. Love seeing more and more 2v2, but we've also known Because I'm a G and Thompson to be absolute monsters when it comes to 2v2. Both these guys have such great synergy and they know each other's boxes so well. It's always exciting to see these two play more and more 2v2 because they have lots and lots of practice every time they get their chance to play.
Yeah, and so now this is the thing though. Because ends up having some pretty bad RNG when he's in games. I've played 2v2 with him. The man's great. He's got great strategy, got a great mind for RTA, but sometimes the RNG gets the best of it. And by sometimes, I probably mean like 80% of the time.
Yeah, most definitely. But I mean, not to talk down, we've got Jeff Followed Down, I do believe, and Daniel Carioca. Daniel Carioca being one of the most entertaining Portuguese streamers out there and just most fun people to be around. Daniel Carioca and him, they are going to have some fantastic synergy themselves. They have had plenty of experience playing 2v2 together as well. So looking forward to having a fun match here, definitely.
Me too. Beijão, Carioca. Beijão. Lindão. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to watch them play. I honestly don't know who's got a better shot here, but we know that Daniel Carioca likes to play around a little bit. You and I were doing a live stream, and he played up against me, and he was pretty good at pulling his punches, I'll say. He tried new stuff, played around with stuff outside the meta. I love watching that sort of thing from him.
Yeah, he really is. He's one of those players that definitely come across as let's have more fun and be less competitive, you know. He's here, and he's someone who keeps in mind that this is a game first and not competitive.
Yes, dang Skippy Stoic. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, we'll see if Pat and Thompson want to echo that sentiment, considering they both have some pretty high caliber monsters. And we know they have things that are in the likes of Yonhong, who actually has she tends to be better in 2v2. There's a lot of monsters that are significantly worse in 2 versus 2 than they are in the 1v1 scene. Yonhong is not one of them.
Yep. Yonhong being probably one of the best LD Nat 5s you can have for 2v2, with that third skill able to play with your opponent and play with yourself or play, you know, just at many different levels in how you use it with the second skill, having great volatility to help boost up your own attack bar and strip at the same time, bringing lots of damage as well. Like, Yonhong's a very, very powerful unit, and so is Glancing. Glancing is very, very powerful debuff that she gets off the first skill. So a lot of value to come with that unit. But it's not just Yonhong sitting on top of like 2v2. There's so many other units out there that get so much more action in 2v2 and not as much in regular at-date.
I saw somebody the other day say that they should give Ganny his strip back. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we should give Ganny his strip back because I like the Glancing. Because, you know, it's like I always say, Stoic. Glancing is healing. It's the same thing. It's like damage not taken is health not lost, which sounds like healing to me.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, we have sad news, though. We are not able to get the 2v2 running. So it looks like we have to save it for a rainy day. We'll bring back the 2v2. But here's your bracket, guys. And, of course, we're going to be back on Sunday with our players that you have here. Faras versus Apps in our very first match. Madreamd versus Thompson. And then after these two players make it to their final, we'll be doing our third place match with whoever sits in that position. So I look forward to those matches and Sunday as well.
Me too, Stoic. I can't wait to cast it with you. It's always a pleasure getting to do these tournaments with you, man. Faras versus Apps, you better be ready. Madreamd versus Thompson. This is going to be an amazing closer of the tournament right here. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you right back here on Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.
Yeah, take care, everybody. Fantastic to see you all. Happy America Summit!